You could be with anyone. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove.
Party people, what's going on? How you doing? It's James. I'm back once again after watching this next episode of Sister Wives. I gotta tell you, it was crazy. Okay, it was crazy as hell. Go ahead, give me a number one in the chat to let me know that you can hear me, you can see me, that everything is copacetic and cool. So that way I also know that I'm not sitting here in my office talking to myself. I got some ones popping. I see them. I see the ones coming. Folks, I got to tell you, tonight's show, tonight's show was insane. Hopefully everybody got the daylight savings time alert on your phone, or whatever the case may be. I took a nap earlier just so I could be ready for tonight, and I'm gonna tell you, American Gigi, I can tell you right now that I was like a little groggy, like, oh my goodness. A little after 10 o'clock I started. Thank goodness they got all the commercials because of the streaming service I use to watch the episode. Normally, if on Discovery or Max, you don't have commercials, so you're in and out of there after 40 minutes or so, but tis what it is. Got through that foolishness. And I got to tell you, I am not watching Sister Wives with Kody Brown try to explain stuff is crazy. It is crazy. It's an event. It's an event. Somebody wrote justice for Janelle. We might have to make that a hashtag because homegirl is getting screwed. Like, she is getting screwed. Jay Lewis said they took a nap too. Yeah, these Jones a little crazy. So I have to tell you guys, we'll start from the beginning. Like, first, they did the little matchup with Christine. We'll jump right into it. They did the matchup with Christine and David. Now, I don't mind watching the David and Christine stuff. I really don't. Like, I think that it's okay. Like, it's not, ooh, oh wow, because I already know where this relationship is going. So it's not really revelatory or compelling TV, because it's like if you like, I used to read mystery novels and stuff, or I used to like those mystery shows when you were a kid, like watching was it like Murder She Wrote and stuff, where you try to figure out who did what, or Columbo, you try to figure out who the bad guy is or who the good person is, or what actually happened and how it happened during the course of the show. And if I watch the show and I tune in the last 5 minutes of the show where they're doing a wrap up, here's what happened. Here's how it all occurred. Here's what the people did, right? If I saw that part of the show, I might not be as interested in the first part. Like, you know what I mean? Like the first 45 minutes or 50 minutes of the show, I might not be interested in that because I already know how it's going to turn out. Like, I've already heard how everything worked itself out. So for me to get the build up or the prequels, as a matter of fact, I'm not a big prequel fan. Like, I'm I don't like watching a movie and then the movie production company comes out and they say, we're going to go back in time and show you how it all occurred. Like, I'm not really interested in that. I'm good. You know what I mean? Now, if you are working for a production company, you want to hire me to be in the movie, sure, I'll do it. I might not watch it, but I'll do it for sure. Yeah, so you had that. Oh yeah, somebody said Columbo, they show you at the beginning what happened. That's true. Columbo does. But there was a few shows where it'd be like the murder mystery shows that I watch. I can't think of any offhand. But I used to love Columbo for a different reason. because everybody underestimated Columbo when he would come out and he would get him with the, well, just one more thing. And then if he said, just one more thing, your ass going to jail. That's your first clue. This is why you don't talk to the cops. Like, especially you guilty. Why are you talking to the cops? Miranda is so important. The Supreme Court has decided that your right to remain silent is so important that they made a rule that if you talk to the police, they gotta tell you, like, if you talk to me, you going to jail. And here come Columbo. One more thing. So, but yeah, so watching the whole thing with that, it got like with Christine and David, it came out that Christine was actually talking about getting matching tattoos. I know this is her soulmate. I know she's very excited about this relationship, but just out of, this is TV. This is TV. And I understand what's going to happen. I understand they're going to get married and everything's going to work out lovely and all that good stuff. Or at least it is for now. But in real life, with a friend of mine, my kids, Dad, I want to get matching tattoos. That's stupid. Don't do that. The only thing dumber than a matching tattoo is somebody's name. You know what I mean? If you're going to put somebody's name on you, make sure it's somebody permanent. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody who is name worthy. Like, yeah, like your kids or your parents or somebody. Somebody passed away and they meant something to you. Get their name, hell, write it on a piece of paper. I don't know. But I'm just not a big fan of you. It's really a sense of permanence. Like, well, marriage is permanent. Clearly it's not, because we're celebrating a show where 3 out of the 4 women have divorced the dude. And these people went into the marriages not only thinking they were going to live the rest of their lives together, but thought they were going to be in outer space heaven together. So, I'm just not a big fan of that, because if things go wrong, and maybe this is just me being a pessimist, and I'm more than willing to ride that ride, wear that hat, wear that crown. Maybe it's just me being a pessimist. Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know. I can't call it. Whatever it is, I got it. Whatever you want to say about me, I'm that thing. But I just don't think it's not for me. Obviously, Christine can do whatever the hell Christine want to do. It's her body, her choice. She can do whatever she want to do. For me, now, I just don't think it's a good idea, babe. I'm not a big, that's, to me, that would be a thing. If something were to happen, I wouldn't want somebody to be, marred that way, like carry that around. We don't work out, and all of a sudden I gotta feel guilty because every day I take my shower, I gotta look at this big old tattoo of James down the left side of my bosom. The next guy you would date nothing but Jameses from that point forward. Like, how does that work? David is a common name, but what I mean? What happens if you fall in love with somebody with like a long name like Franklin Wilson, like 5 letters or more, Charlemagne, some crazy name, that nobody else would ever have. That it's clear that this is who you have on the side of you, Julius. Okay, I've known maybe 2 Juliuses in my whole life, like personally. 3 if you count Dr. J, Julius Irvin. But I just, so that's the whole tattoo thing. Even the kids were kind of like, So I know it's not a generational thing. I can't even really say that because, like, these are like conservative Mormon kids, so it's not that crazy. Brittany, not Brittany, with the $1.99 super chat. She got the tattoo on her bosom. Yeah, she got it like right here. I think you're right. Right, you're right. She got it on her bosom. But on the upside, it wasn't. I don't think it's his name. Like, I forget what her tattoo is. I'm gonna have to look it up. Let me see. Because I don't think it was her name. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I'll post it up. Yeah, I mean, it's a design, like, so you could get away with that. Like, I don't think that's as egregious as some other things that you may have seen, like, or that's out there. I don't think that's as bad. But let me see if I can pull this bad boy up. I want to put it up so everybody can kind of get a picture of what I'm talking about. So we're not just living in the dark. Let me see. And it won't let me pull it up. No, it won't let me pull it up. Why won't it let me put it in? Oh, maybe because I'm in the wrong channel. Oh, here we go. So I'm gonna pull this bad boy up, and you guys can all take a look at it. I have to remember to keep my voice going, and this is not working. What the snack? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so here it is. What Brittany, not Brittany, was talking about. Like that's the picture of the design. So that's what she has on herself, which isn't that bad. Like in fairness, that picture, like that's not a bad design. I'm not mad at that, but I'm just not a big fan. Like I'm like, you carry that around for the rest of your life. And if you don't carry that, you gotta get it covered up. And if you don't get it covered up, then sometimes the cover up will cost more than the tattoo itself. And then if you want to have the tattoo removed, that's like triple to quadruple what you paid for the dang on tattoo, plus healing and everything else. And that could turn into a scar. So, I mean, if you gonna do it, just make sure that you really think about it. And it's not just like the on the wings of love thing. On the wings of love, where I'm gonna do whatever I want to do because we love each other. Because you love each other today, and if it don't work out, then it sucks. So, what was it? Oh, Negla, $5 super chat. Christine is just happy to be free. Master has presented Dobie with clothes. Dobie is free. Yeah, right. You free now. I'm free. Gonna get them butter biscuits and take off. The whole thing is that like I appreciate, you know, being trapped in a relationship and then finally finding a relationship where you feel more fulfilled. And I understand that. But that's also part of the challenge that I have because you could feel so fulfilled in that relationship. You could feel so fulfilled because you had such a bad time, which leads to another point. Another thing I'll make with that as well. Um, some of the things that might turn me off a little bit if I was dating somebody and our relationship was starting to get serious. If every time we turn around and we got ready to do something, oh, excuse me. Oh, I need to drink some water. Pardon me, folks. Got to take that water break. If every time we were about to do something or we did something, they bring up how in their previous relationship they never did this, or they didn't have an opportunity to do this, or this is different from somehow there's a comparative between our relationship and the previous relationship, that would start to bother me after a while. Like I'm appreciative of the fact that she's finally she's finally getting to experience these things that she didn't experience with Kody. And I understand it, and I fully understand it. But at the same time, that for me, that would kind of be a red flag because you can't compare me to your previous. The same way I wouldn't, and this is along the same line of if your previous ex was, say, a cheater, a carouser, he was a philanderer, right? Went out and, knocking boots on anything walking, walk in the house, the fish stop swimming because he will screw it. Okay. I don't want to be held accountable for that either. Like, I don't want to have those arguments or discussions about how, men are do this or men do that because this is your experience with this other person. I'm me and I do what I do, And so if your husband never held a door for you, never pulled a chair for you, never asked your opinion, never talked to you, or never considered you in any other way, don't, keep reminding me of how he didn't do this thing for you because I'm doing it for you. This is what I do. Right? I don't want to hear about that other joker. That's shame on him. And we'll get into kind of like how, even based off of my video today, on how I'm kind of looking at Kody now. Because some things have changed for me when I'm looking at Kody. I can't even really say it changed. It just kind of maybe accentuated itself a little bit. So thank you very much, Negla, and for Brittany, not Brittany. I'm gonna read one more, and then I'm gonna give you guys a thank you, the super thanks, because I want to make sure we get everybody. We have Lammy with the $2 super chat. Tattoo artist here. Personally, don't recommend it. Thank you, Lammy. Thank you. And this is like, look, I don't have tattoos just because I have the my skin complexion. Like, I don't think that a tattoo would look. I couldn't get the kind of tattoo I would want to have. Okay. Like, you can't get, like, I've seen cool tattoos, like really cool tattoos. I've seen tattoos like that were amazing. Like, there was this guy. I'm got me flustered. Got me flustered. There was this guy. He had a tattoo of his family, like his kids or whatever. And that tattoo was so dope. Like, it was crazy how good it was. It was crazy. Like, he must have spent a fortune, because this tattoo was like, it had the picture of his kids and it was tied into another like picture. Like, it was a lot of planning and it was a lot of sessions. Like, this wasn't like the tattoo you just show up and you get one afternoon. Like, this is a tattoo. This guy went back several times. Like, you could tell he went back. And his artist was super talented, right? His tattoo was dope. Like, and I would wear something like that. But like, I couldn't wear something like that because of the way the shading and stuff worked. It just doesn't work for me. Plus, I scar funny, right? So it just, like, tattoos just don't work for me. So I appreciate tattoos. Like, I appreciate good tattoos. Don't get the guy, like, I'm not a big fan of people doing self tattoos unless you're a great artist. You're a great artist. Like, I know people, young folks, I've run into some young folks who tattooed themselves, and they were just doing tattoos because they wanted to be tatted up. Okay, the tattoos really don't mean anything. And like, when you ask them, like, you talk to them about it, like, okay, what does that thing mean that you're gonna be carrying around for the rest of your life? What significance does it have to you? Right. And it was one person that I'm thinking about. She had, excuse me, pardon me for laughing, but she had a paradise, a pair like a hand of cards. I think it was like a roulette table and something else, right? And I said, what? And I know they don't gamble, like, they're not casino people, right? I don't think at that point she had ever been to a casino or ever gambled. So I said, what does that mean? And I'm sorry, this is story time. And she looked back at me and said, what does that mean? That means life is a gamble. I was like, ah, shit. Like, you're gonna be carrying that around for the rest of your life. Trust me when I say this. It might seem cool now, you're in your 20s. Life is a gamble. You don't know what you're gonna get. Life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're gonna get. Like, that shit is cool. As like a pun or a phrase when you're like 20, early 20s. But when you're 45 and you sitting around talking about life is a gamble, like, I don't know, bro. I think you crapped out. Like, so that's my whole thing. Like, I don't mind tattoos. It's just a recommendation that from me, like, when I talk to my kids about it, because they're older and I don't think they have any inclination to get tattoos. But if you get a tattoo, what I've always said to my kids, if you get a tattoo, make sure it's something that you genuinely care about. Don't get something that you think is cool for now. Right? Don't get something that you think is cool for now, and try to stay away from your face. Like, if you get a face tattoo, that's a serious commitment, right? You go on next level in the commitment. So that's just my thing. Uh, so yeah, thank you. I want to give you guys a little something out of appreciation. Yeah, that's to me, that's just a thing. Like, so they had Teresa Hayes. I quit asking people what their tattoos mean. Let me ask you guys, is that a generational thing? Like, because maybe it's just a generational thing. Like I kind of grew up in a generation where when people got tattoos, they meant something to them. Like now, it just seems like some folks are getting tattoos more out of a accessory. Like it doesn't really mean anything. They just want ink to have ink. So maybe I don't know. Like maybe that's just me. Like again, I'm not even saying like I'm right in this situation. I'm just saying that this is just how I see it and how my perspective on it, because this is where I was at in my mind on it. Ooh, I said, imagine if the OG3 had gotten a Kody tattoo, right? That's what I'm talking about. You like, we're in this forever. We love each other. We have 18 children together. And if you have 13 kids with somebody, that should be the time when you definitely should feel secure and get a tattoo, you would think. But as Kody and the OG3 have proven, those relationships aren't exactly solid. They had been together for 30 years. Okay, they were approaching 30. Well, I think Mary was over 30. Okay, and I think Janelle might have skipped right over 30. Um, but they were married for 30 years. Okay, that's really a lifetime, you know. So, uh, there's certain jobs you can do. You get a pension after 20 years. So, they should be getting pensions for being in this marriage. Are you kidding me? And then they leave the marriage, and then you got a Kody Brown face tattoo. Like, you think it's hard to get rid of him? So, yeah, I'm just from that I think I'm, or at least just the way I was kind of brought up. Like, if you get a tattoo, the tattoo should mean something, at least to you. Like, it doesn't have to mean like be part of an organization, I don't think, but just to me. Um, let's see, raspberry, $5 super chat. Hello, James in chat. You gotta know when when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to hold off on that. I'm her best customer tattoo. Gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to hold off on it. I'm the best customer tattoo. That's right. That's right. Because you gonna be wearing that. You know, we get a little something, something, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff. But yeah, thank you so much. That's just kind of where I'm at. I'm with you. Like, if you get that, like, oh, I'm her best customer. The next thing you know, you guys break up and you got that tattoo on you. Woo! Uh they said, Kathy Ferrand. They should be getting hazardous duty pay. Yeah, right. And they like you know when to hold them, raspberry. Um, so we did that whole thing. Then we did the Kody's birthday. And during Kody's birthday, he said something interesting. He said that he had a conversation with Robyn where he was discussing his values and the direction, and he started talking about the loss of the big picture. My big picture was shattered. Still not taking any responsibility or accountability for any of that, which I think is awesome. Like, there's certain people who, as life goes on, they experience things and they develop a sense of wisdom. And that's actually the value in older people. Um, if you're an older person, your value is your life experience, because there are certain things you can learn in books, but those things are typically theories. You have practicum knowledge, you have experience, knowledge of experience. You've dealt with people, you've been around, you talk to people, and hopefully you've tried to understand and learn from those interactions. But then there's a group of people who have just been on the planet long. That's there's no wisdom involved. There's no there's no learning. There's no knowledge gathering. It's just you've been sucking up air in space for 55 years, 50 some odd years, and you've just been here just taking up space because you haven't learned anything. You haven't developed uh any sense of, wow, I could have done that differently. Especially when things don't work out. Usually that's the best time. What do they say? Failure is the best teacher. Okay. When things don't work out the way you want them to work out, you can look at it as, I failed and woe is me and it's a terrible experience and blah, blah, blah. Or you could look at it as a learning experience. You could learn from it. And then hopefully that could prevent you from suffering the same loss again. That's the whole purpose of having experience and learning from your experiences. But it seems as though Kody is failing when it comes to learning from those experiences. And I think that that's a shame because he's not taking that opportunity. So he had that whole conversation with Robyn. He said tons of guilt because he's not very involved with his people. So, when he first said that, like tons of guilt because he's not very involved with his people, that was my first inclination and first clue of why he was trying to get back to Janelle. I even wrote it down in my notes. Like, is this why he wanted to get back to Janelle? Like, he's so anxious to get back to Janelle because clearly he's not trying to get with Janelle because he's missing Janelle and he wants some JJ time. Okay, JB time. All right. That was my first impression. And it was later panned out or proven out, bore out during the course of the episode as the episode went forward. And he basically admitted the only reason why he wanted to get back with Janelle is because he wanted to create have reconciliation with his children. He wanted to use Janelle as a pathway to his children. And that pretty much, for me, defines a lot of the sister-wife relationships. So as the sister wives, though, especially the OG3, sit around and talk about how Kody was different and how he was a wonderful man and how everything was different before Robyn came in. And, I'm looking at it now, or I won't even say looking at it now as a new thing. It's been established to me and proven to me once again, that Kody was in this relationship and he's been using them the entire time. I don't think this is a new situation for him. I don't think this is something that just developed because all of a sudden he getting a quick shot of Robyn and it changed his whole life perspective. I think that at the end of the day, this is who he always was. And this is the truth about power and money. Power and money don't turn you into an ass. They just give you the permission and the ability to be the person that you always were. That's all it is. So when he started developing opportunities through the Sister Wife show, when he started to have the type of relationships with the types of people he wanted to have relationships with probably from the beginning, and the show gave him the ability to do it, I think he just started to reveal who he was. His mask started to slip a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And now what we're seeing and what the Brown family is experiencing is actually true final form Kody. This is who he is. This is who he always was. And that's just my perspective. Now, keep in mind, I'm gonna throw a little pinch of salt on the situation, as Salt Bay would do. I'm gonna put a little salt on it. I don't know Kody personally. He's not my friend. Me and homeboy ain't sitting around chewing the fat, checking out football games and stuff at the local tavern or whatever, having deep conversations. It's just a feeling I get, and this is something that I've always felt about Kody, because he gave up on these relationships way too easy. Now here's the thing. I think that there is a point where people look at these relationships. Excuse me. I think there is a point where people look at these relationships and they see Kody and they see how the OG3 felt about him, and they think to themselves that if they say that Kody wasn't in love with them or didn't feel about them the way he felt, and this, that, and it somehow diminishes their feelings. These are separate people, separate experiences. Two people can have the same experience and just experience that experience in completely different ways. Do I think that Christine, Mary, and Janelle were in love with Kody? Yeah. I think that they were in love with him. I think they were committed to him. I think they were trying to make these marriages work the best way they knew how. I think that they were put into an impossible situation because the person that they were in love with didn't love them back. And if he did love them, he didn't love them in the same way they loved him. And that's just a very subtle difference. And when Robyn came into his life, all of a sudden he has somebody who he thought it's not even so much. And here's the weird part about it. I don't think he's in love with Robyn. I think he loves the status that Robyn provides him. Robyn is the type of woman that he wanted to be involved with from the beginning. Maybe when he was sitting there at night, killing him, taking care of himself, whatever. That's the woman he was thinking about. The type of woman he was thinking about, and he finally got her. And what comes along with that isn't just the fact that I have a pretty woman, it's the status that comes along with having a pretty woman. Because if you are the type of man who doesn't look at women like partners, you don't see women as equals. If you're that type of man, then you aren't looking at women like, somebody who is adding to your life just by them being in your life. You are, however, looking at them for what they give you in the form of status and recognition. Because if I have her on my arm, then everybody gonna know that I'm the big baller. I'm a player. I'm serious about mine. I'm holding it down because I'm sitting here with a beautiful woman walking into the room. And when I walk in, people notice me because they notice her. So they see her and they say, who's that guy that they with? And I think that that's what he sees when he sees Robyn. I think that that's why he's so enamored with her, especially about like the funny, messed up thing. I'm about to cuss. I'm really trying to hold it back. But the funny, messed up thing is that as Robyn was, entering into the family and he first started dating her, her presence gets supercharged by the presentation of other men chasing her, other men wanting her. And this could be, it doesn't have to necessarily be real, but there probably were a couple old dudes in the church trying to get at her. She walking there, especially she got a tail up, she putting a scent out. That's what the old folks used to say back in the day. She putting a scent out, and some of these old dudes in the church probably catching feelings, right? And so they sitting there saying, "Oh, okay, all right. She ain't even a cousin or nothing. So we're gonna go over there and try to get at her." And so they go over and they start trying to talk to her. And then Kody was able to best those guys. So because all these guys supposedly want her, now all of a sudden she becomes even more of a victory. Not just because she's attractive, but because a bunch of dudes want her, and I'm the only one that got her. And I think that was part of her attraction to Kody. It's not just the pencil box; it's the everything that goes along with it. It's the membership, the club membership that only you were able to get access to. Like you're the only one they let into the clubhouse. So I think that's part of it. But let's see, Neglet 3, the $5 supercharge. Your birthday is a national holiday, but you don't give a F enough to call Gabe or other kids on his or theirs. Oh, good point. Ooh, good point. Yeah, that is so weird. That is true. That is true. I guess it never would have occurred to me that that's how ignorant he was. But yeah, that shit is ignorant. That is definitely ignorant. The fact that you sit up there looking at your birthday, like, I don't understand how people don't call me on my birthday. Wasn't Gabe's birthday party last week? Who? Who? Like that time Gabe was on the screen crying because his dad had called him on his birthday and asked some questions about something that had nothing to do with him or his birthday. And that's the sad part about it, is when you deal with people who are so self-obsessed that they just don't have room for you in their world. And that's kind of where Kody is with a lot of his kids and a lot of people he talks about. So we're going to get into that in a little bit, but let me give Neglet 3 a little something, little celebration piece. For some reason, I'm going through something over here, boy. I'm going through something. Then we have Brittany, not Brittany. $4.99 super chat. Kody is still married. A woman who doesn't know how to spell Wyoming. You ain't get with her for the spelling, if you know what I mean. We may be expecting too much on the learning curve. Yeah. Come on, guys, put up the Y for Wyoming. She was mad as shit that they corrected her. How does that work? You mad as hell. She was mad as all get out. What? You don't tell me in front of these children I don't know how to speak Wyoming. The kids know. Okay, the kids been to Wyoming a few times. Some of them go up every summer. Like they're not writing WY, a Y oming. They're writing W. They know what it is. So you took an L on that. Forget the W. You took an L. Hey, that's one of them. Sit your ass down. You try to be too cute. And that was part of the problem. I think that's where she got jammed up at. She was trying to be too cute by half, and she just got caught up. But let me get a little something, something. Yeah, but thank you guys so much for that. So yeah, like the whole thing with Kody and his birthday, and not learning anything. Then he said something that I thought was very revealing, especially when we talk about like the birthdays and him not celebrating birthdays. He said something to the effect of the kids, when he thinks of the kids and the kids growing up, he thinks about like when I was younger and I was a young parent, I thought about the children because it's such a bad actor. I thought about the children moving across the street from me. And it is so weird for me because again, as a parent, it's not that, if my kids want to live on the same block as me, they want to move next door, I'll be ecstatic about that. But at no point did it ever occur to me that that's what I'm wishing for. I just want my kids to be happy. If they're happy on the other side of the world, I'll miss them, and it gives me an excuse to travel the world more, travel more. But I want them to be happy. It's not required for my kids to be, part of my situation for me to feel like they're actually doing something. And that's where that kind of, that's the way that rubbed me a little bit when Kody was sitting there talking about his kids. His dream was that his kids would move across the street from him and they would have their kids and their husbands and wives and they would all live on the same block with him. Like that shit is crazy. Okay, that's crazy. And is that why you bought all that land up there on Kody Pass? Because technically, like I said, you could subdivide Kody Pass down to like 1 acre lots. And if it's 15 acres, technically half acres, you have 30 lots. So you could make like a little neighborhood, if they would allow you to develop up there like that, which I don't think. I think the deed restriction restricts any kind of major development like that, where you would have basically a neighborhood in that space. But was that the purpose? Because in Kody's mind, I don't think that they planned this whole thing out well. So the idea that they could never do that, I don't think is enough. I don't think that's a strong enough rebuttal to the insinuation that this is something that they were probably thinking about doing. So there's that. All right, Spicy Rita, you have a good one. I feel you. It's gonna be rough tomorrow. But so you have that, then he talks about he's gonna have a meeting with Janelle to talk about the business and property. And he sees that as, and I wrote at that point, like in parens, as a note, it says, meet with the kids meet with Janelle to talk about business and property. And I wrote parens, like way to get in with the kids and a little question mark. And like I said, later on in the commentary, it was proven that's exactly why he wants to get back with Janelle. He sees her as a doorway or pathway back to his kids. And we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll actually talk about that next because I think that's a huge part of this episode. Then, of course, I want to open up the phone lines and we're going to start rocking those out. But Janelle taking steps because she doesn't trust Kody anymore. That shit was rough. And I was like, thank goodness she's finally getting it. She's finally understanding you have to take steps because clearly this dude isn't down for you and he's not looking out for your best interest. And one of the things, and this goes back to season 17, there was a point in season 17, and I'm just going to kind of jump over some of this just so I can get the lines in. And of course, I'll be talking about it more tomorrow with Sarah from Reality Squad. And of course, I'm doing videos on this because this is the meat and potatoes. This is the stuff that I want to talk about. But one of the things that really burned me up in season 16 or 17, there was a point where Christine had already left. Mary, Janelle, Robyn, Cody, they meet at Mary's house, and Janelle was supposed to be showing them house plans. That was the whole purpose of why they called this meeting. And when Janelle is ready to whip out her house plans, first, Cody's wanting to talk about like COVID and how he almost died. And once again, COVID was the toughest thing he ever personally went through. And it was such a terrible thing. And he suffered so much and blah, blah, blah. And Janelle's sitting there like, come on, I'm here for this thing. You said, Cody, I have to show them these house plans so that we can start moving forward with the house. And now you sitting here talking about COVID experiences and how you almost died again, right? Because that's for the longest time, every time he opened up a conversation, that's pretty much what he said. If he met somebody on the street, I'm sure the conversation went something like this. Hi, I'm John. What's your name? Oh, I'm Kody Brown. I almost died last week from COVID. 2 weeks ago, it almost took me. Oh no, I'm in trouble. Felt like I had one foot in the grave and the other foot on a banana peel. Like, dude, it wasn't that bad. If you weren't in the hospital, if you went to the hospital and they turned you away, you just felt bad. Okay? You big punk. Like that's what the hell it was. You felt bad. You didn't feel good. You had your boo-boo. So you had to take your ass home and ride it out like the rest of us. I had COVID too. Okay, it do make you feel bad, but you get over it. You have shit to do. You get up and do the stuff you got to do. If you got kids and stuff that you got to take care of, you got to get up and do it. This is what people been doing forever. Parents, real parents, have been doing that forever. If you don't feel good and you go with the flu, guess what? Most likely you ain't the only one with the flu. There's probably 3 or 4 people in your house who have the flu. If you have 3 or 4 people that live there, they all probably sick. And if they kids, guess what? You on duty. You on duty. You don't feel good. Oh, my stomach hurt. You downstairs cooking the soup. Nobody bringing you soup. You cooking it. You taking care of them. That's what happens. That's what adults do. That's called adulting. Okay, you suck it up. But not this dude. He lay on the floor. Robyn laying in the bed. Like she at least got it. Robyn got admitted to the hospital. And part of me thinks that Robyn got admitted to the hospital because she was, like, from what I understand, she had something going on medically where she might have been vulnerable, and then so they admit her to the hospital. But she might have got in there and said, you know what, I'm exhausted because I'm at the house. I'm taking care of this man and these kids. My ass is tired, doc. Can I just lay here on a couch or pull up on the corner? Hell, I lay underneath them damn fake ass rubber tree bushes that you got. I'll lay under that in the waiting room. Please, just don't send me out there to that man. I need a break. And so they let Robyn take a little break in the hospital. And but that's just that's just my opinion. I'm sorry. Like, I don't have a whole lot of patience for that. Like, if you're a parent, I don't give a shit. Like, some people say, oh, men get sick and they got no, we all don't do that. No, we don't. Because I'm the one that I do the cooking in my house. So if I'm sick and we sick, like, there's been a few times my lady, she will step in. Like, I ain't gonna front. Like, she good like that. she good like that. Like, if I'm down bad, she'll step in and take care of some shit. Like, she take care of business. You know why? Because we partners, and that's what partners do. They look out for each other. Okay, where I come up short, she there to pick up the slack. Where she come up short, I'm there to pick up the slack. That's the way it should go. That's the benefit of having a partner. That's the benefit of having a damn partner. If you with somebody and you come up short, they go, I don't know what you're gonna do, then that's not a partnership. Okay, that's not a partnership, and that's the bull stuff. So I don't know. Pretty, not pretty. Oh. You down bad for that one, Brittany. $1.99 super chat. In the bed sick. 2 seasons later, on the floor. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got Robyn in there, like she went to the hospital crying, and that's why I think too. to kind of tag off what Brittany said when she was like, was it 2 episodes ago when she was sitting in the bathroom, sitting on the floor crying in front of that dirty ass sink? Like she was sitting, my prayers. That's the only thing I'm keeping my head above water. Right? I feel like I'm drowning. I think that's what it is. Like, I think she getting tired of Kody's ass. Like, it's hard when you dealing with him by yourself. And you know what I mean? You got a baby man and you trying to raise kids and you got a baby man on top of it. That your plate is full. Like, no, thank you. I do not need seconds. I'm done. I'm full. I can't, not another bite. I feel like I'm about to explode. Okay. When you got a baby man, oh no, that's a bad look. And again, that's that boo, I'm about to cuss. That's that stuff that is cute when you a kid, like getting tattoos. Like this is in that same space. When you got a little baby man, that shit might be cute. I take care of him. I do for him because he can't do for himself. I do everything. That shit is cute when you kids. That shit is not cute when you have kids and you're an adult and you trying to do adult stuff. You trying to make big moves, houses. You trying to take care of houses, bills. You trying to take care of your kids' needs, trying to meet everybody's needs and make sure everybody is okay. It's not cute to have to go behind somebody, wipe their nose, straighten their collar, and tell them, that they special and put a little star on their forehead. That shit is not cute. That is not fun. Okay? So I I feel for you, Robyn. I see where you at. I mean? I see what you're going through, girl. So let me give you a little something, Brady. Thank you so much. Great conversation. Yeah, but so we had that whole thing. Then we had Janelle coming in, taking steps because she doesn't trust Kody anymore. And which I've been saying like from the beginning, Janelle, I don't know why you trust this Mickey Ficky. Because like I said, when they got down to her showing her plans at Mary's house, all of a sudden, all kinds of excuses on why the plan, you can't look at the plans. Then all of a sudden, Robyn jump in. Before we start showing the plans, why don't we have a discussion about the family? Why don't we talk about the family? How about we talk about this money? Okay. Like my man said, you play with my money, you play with my emotions. Okay. Don't play with my emotions, son. Like, that's all they doing. And I remember there was a YouTuber that said that, like, oh, I think that was a I don't know if that was like a YouTube beef I was involved with, but it was like a disagreement. But one person has said, this is what I'm talking about. I think it's a great thing that Robyn really wants to try to heal the family and get to the source of the pain in the family. And I said back then, because this is in response to something I said. And back then, my position was you could go check my video library. Okay. I said back then that when it comes down to it, we can't move forward with the relationship conversations if I'm not getting the things I need. Okay. The whole, do we have like Sunday calls with each other? That shit is a luxury. If I and my kids don't have a place to stay. All right, if I'm sleeping in a damn RV and you're sleeping in a mansion, a McMansion, a little house, a big house, a decent sized house, right? It's not a mansion, but it's a McMansion. You sleeping in a McMansion and I'm sleeping in an RV, or I'm sleeping in like a little 1-bedroom apartment, and I have money on a piece of property, I have money in your house, and you want to sit here and talk about some feelings and shit? No, tonight is not the night we talking about feelings, son. Because I'm feeling a certain kind of way. You don't want to talk about feelings. Trust and believe me when I tell you this. You don't want to talk about feelings. You want to talk about get me what's mine so I feel more comfortable in this situation. Because otherwise, we're not having a comfortable conversation. We're fitting to have a misunderstanding. Please get that. We're about to have a misunderstanding. So let's have the conversation about what it is I need in order for me to be able to provide for me and my children. Because you and your kids are taken care of. So you have the luxury of sitting here talking about your feelings and how you want to do stuff and how, let's put it off and not give a shit. That's where I am. So this whole conversation between Janelle and Kody, that's where I was for the entire thing. That's where I was. But that's just that to me, that's the craziness. So they get into the conversation. It said, what's the occasion? And so he comes out, oh, what's the occasion for you calling me out here, Janelle? Because he doesn't want to talk about the property. He doesn't want to talk about her investment. And the funny thing about it is earlier on, when Kody talked about it, he said he's going to meet with Janelle so that they can talk about business and property. But bro, you're not a businessman because you're not about your business. You're not a businessman because you're not about your business. And if you were about your business, this is where it's funny to me that they sit around and talk about patriarchy and leadership and everything else. See, a leader is about their damn business. A leader doesn't have to sit there and you don't have to try to figure out where your money is or what's going on with your money. A leader makes sure that the bills get paid on time. And if you owe somebody money, like you owe these ladies money, then you need to have that hard, difficult conversation and start telling them, giving them some kind of roadmap of how you're going to pay them their money back. The way Kody treats it, he's such a poor paymaster. Such a poor paymaster because he's the guy who you lend a bunch of money to, then he turns around and he says some stupid shit like, oh, when you borrowed the money, you had all kinds of plans and you told me all kinds of ways that you're gonna give me my money back. You had all the answers. Oh, I'm gonna go get my tax return. Don't never give nobody a loan on tax return. Bullshit. Oh, when I get my tax return, I'm gonna give you that money back. Don't never do that. Because you will never see that money. Because something will always come up around that time. Well, I'm gonna get my tax return. I'm gonna give you money back. I'm gonna work some extra hours. I'm gonna get another job. I'm gonna start driving for Grubhub or what is that? Food the food thing. I'm gonna start driving Uber Eats and Uber and Lyft, and I'm gonna do all this, and I'm gonna be working at the docks, and they have all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna be a Martian astronaut, lawyer, doctor. They have all kinds of plans on how they're gonna give you money back. You give them the money, the next thing you know, they don't return your phone calls anymore. You give them the money. Every time you see him, they got something new on. Every time Janelle see this mug, he show up with a new necklace, new rings. He talking about like she's seeing the inside of this Joker house with the pictures and the paintings, and you won't want to talk to me about my money? Like I said, misunderstandings. Maybe that's why they went over to this restaurant. They put them upstairs in the attic because they're like, what room can we afford to get tore up? Because put them up there. Don't give them no good plates. Don't give them the good plates. Give them that plastic shit. Give them the chinette. Give them the chinette. Don't give them the good stuff. And make sure you're going to give them plastic forks and knives too. Matter of fact, don't even give them no plastic knives because them things might be able to penetrate. We're going to go ahead and give them sporks. Okay, we're going to give them sporks. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, with sporks. The spoon forks. We're going to give them those. And if you go upstairs and you serving them and you see somebody there, whittling the shank, you let me know so we call 911 immediately. because it's about to go down. Okay, it's about to go down. But it's crazy. It's crazy. And then Janelle revealed something. She said 2 words that blew my damn mind. She got up there. Well, first, she said, well, we need to talk about the property. Kody looks at her and says, oh, we got months to go on that. She said, we got 3.5 months. Now, for the uninitiated, 3.5 months is no time. Okay. For you, because the guy who owns the property, they've sat on, basically the Brown family has sat on this property for years at this point. And the guy who sold him the property, he's probably out. The way Kody's treating it, he might not have been getting his money on time, and he's had to wait because I'm pretty sure that the plan was not for him to drag out the payment for this property for the full term of the loan. So like when people take out, she used the key phrase balloon payment. Typically balloon payments are tied to what would be considered an arm. ARM loan, which is a adjustable rate mortgage loan, or short-term loan. These are short-term loans. And typically, when you take out these types of loans, they're best suited not to acquire property in the traditional sense where you're going to acquire the property, you're going to live there, you're going to build it and live there and all that. These are loans for investment and construction. So you might purchase a property on an adjustable rate mortgage, which means you're just paying the interest on the property. You aren't necessarily, your payments are paying the interest. You're not paying any of the principal. And because you're not paying the principal at the end of the term of that loan, what happens is the entire amount of the loan is due and owing. So if you're making like payments, you haven't paid anything. If you're making, especially if you're making minimum payments, if you're making minimum payments on the property, you just gave them just enough money to where they let you hold and retain a property. So I basically will hold the property for you. You pay me so that I don't sell it, essentially. And that's where the interest comes in. And then after you've paid the interest, you go on, I'll give you, say, 2 years. You can get an adjustable rate loan mortgage, usually between 2 to 5 years. So at the end of the 5 years, you now owe all the money. And if you don't have all the money, you don't have to come out of your pocket with all of it. I don't want all the money in 10s and 20s. You know what I mean? Or worse, I want all my money in nickels. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that shit or write a stroke a check. You can go out and get a traditional loan from the bank. So you just take out another loan if you're going to stay there, right? And that would be a way that you could initially get into a home, and then you take out a traditional conventional loan, which would be like a 30-year mortgage, traditional 15 to 30-year mortgage, and you just do regular payments on that. But typically, like, adjustable rate mortgages are used for people who flip houses. So this is a way for you to be able to purchase the property. You're paying nothing but the interest. You plan on fixing the house up, turning around within a month or two, hopefully about 3 months, 4 months, and selling the property off and being done with it. So when you sell the property, you get your money back and you take your cut, and then you go off and find another property. So when she said balloon payment, that leads me to believe that at this time, I always go into, thinking when I see a lot of this stuff, I think about how I would do it. And if I couldn't do it the way I would do it, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. So I thought initially, up until I guess tonight, that they had put down 20%, like the traditional 20%, so that way they could avoid the PMI, which is the mortgage insurance. I thought that's what they did, because that's what makes sense to me, right? You have money, you're selling these properties in Las Vegas, so you have income coming in. Why not, pay as much as you can, because this is where you're going to stay. That's your forever home, right? Apparently, it's a strong possibility that they did an adjustable rate mortgage where you could put down like as little as 5%, 3 to 5%, I think it is, for those loans. You put down 3% or 5%, and you owe, basically, by the time you get finished paying the interest on that, you would have paid so much more than the house is, like, the property is worth, or at least at that time. Like, so I guess it would keep up, but oh my goodness, I would not be comfortable with that. And then at the end, you lose it. Like, that's a stupid. And the way he approaches, like, the casual attitude that Kody approaches, like, I don't care. It's like a couple months out. You know why he doesn't care? Because that's not his property. He already has property. And that's the part I think that the Janelle and Mary, because of the trusted nature that they had in the relationship, that's something that they missed. He already has property. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't care if you got your stuff. But before I get too far afield, let me just give some recognition. Oh my goodness. What is this? Betty, Papa Sil Mama, 499 super chat. James, I passed my first 2 courses with A's in my master's program. Congratulations. Let's give her a little something for that. Just that by itself, Let's say, you must have sent me some super strong, good mojo. Thank you for your good vibes. Oh, my pleasure. If I had anything to do with it, which I'm sure I didn't, because you are amazing and you did that all on you. You did that. Two A's. Woo, woo. That's hotness right there. That's hotness. Let me get, matter of fact, thank you so much for the super chat. That's awesome. Congratulations, guys. Give her a round of applause if you best you can. I got to come up with some kind of membership because I want to give people some emojis, especially for good news like that. Oh, man. Oh. All right. Woo-hoo. Congratulations. I love it. Love it. Love it. I love seeing people come up. That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations, Betty. It's amazing. Did I miss? I think I missed some folks. Oh wow. Oh, okay. That's my shoe. $5 super chat. Who's going to tell Kody that Robyn has passed her expiration date? Yeah, right. Oh, was it in that manosphere? They have a term for that. It's called hitting the wall. Robyn hit the wall. Apparently, the wall is like 30, which is insane. Like, you missing a whole bunch of stuff with 30. Like, the woman hits 30, like in her 20s. 20-year-olds, I guess, are fun. 30s, they become a little more, women become more self-confident, more self-aware. So you hit more like the dirty, then you call it the dirty 30s. 40s, come on now. They know they self by the time they 40. You gotta be a man to deal with a 40-year-old woman. If you see a 40-year-old woman with a young dude, she's just looking for an Energizer bunny. She ain't looking for a captain to know how to navigate them waters. So yeah, good point. That's my shoe. Brittany, not Brittany. Down in our super chat, in the bed, sick. 2 seasons later, is on the floor. Oh, okay. I missed. That's my shoe. I'm sorry. That's my shoe. Negligent 3, $2 super chat. Lord Fortenroy, Faltenroy. I gotta get his name right. Is draining the life out of her. Yeah, right. It's sad watching it too because he's doing like some bad stuff, doing bad stuff. Negligent 3 once again with $2 super chat. Basically, they run a centered Kody pass. Yeah, right. They got that shit on Layaway. It was the blue light special. Some cats don't know what Layaway is. That's when you put some money down and you get to go visit. Like, you be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get this coat and I'm gonna wear this. It's gonna be hot to death." And and then you get to go put some money down on it. And then each week you got to pay some money on it so that you can pay it off by a certain time. And you be like, "Ooh, when I get this coat out, it's gonna be hot to death. I'm gonna be killing them at the club, son." Back in the day, I remember when I was in school, I had a couple outfits I had to put on the layaway. I knew I'll go visit my outfits when I get my payday, hit my pay. I go visit my outfits, like, "Ooh, wee! When I get this out, son, it's over. Game over, son." You be slapping hands. Yeah, I'm gonna kill him with this. And the crazy part is, and this is why I say that's why I go back to the tattoo thing. This is where I developed that mentality. Because the outfits I was getting, I was so excited about them, but there's no way I would wear that shit now. You know what I mean? It was trendy at the time, but if I wore either one of them outfits, there was 3 outfits I put on layaway. I remember back when I was hitting them, it was right before I was like, I guess I was like 18, 17, 18. Well, I was still in high school, so I was probably about 16, 17. Clothes on layaway. But I tell you what, I would never. If you put this on, tell my kids I'm gonna miss them. You know what I mean? You can take this, put them clothes on, and you get 2 hot ones. Tell my kids I'm gonna miss them because I'm not putting that shit on. Like, it was crazy. You gotta be careful. It's hot today, but nothing tomorrow. Okay, got some people saying they know. Okay, some folks in there for real. They like, I know what layaway is. James, you ain't said nothing. You ain't telling us about nothing. I know layaway. Okay. How you think I got my outfits? How you think I got my coat? Put your little coat on layaway at the end of the winter time when the shit on clearance. You ride it out during the summer, like, oh yeah, come school time, I'm gonna kill them with this. They ain't ready. Yeah, man. I remember them days. You had to buy coats like 2 sizes too big, so that way you could be sure that you will have it for growth spurts, cover your growth spurts. Oh, Lizzie B in the house. What's up, Lizzie B? How you doing? $5 super chat. Thank you so much. James, please check your email later. And chat, remember to hit the like button for this live stream. Yeah, thank you so much, Lizzie B. And I will check the email. I didn't get a chance to check them today, but just listen, how you think I got a TV, right? You know what I mean? That's how a lot of people got TVs. You know what I mean? Back in the day, them VCRs. Before they was like five, you get a VCR now for like $5, bro. Them joints was expensive back in the day. You had to put a layer, you had to make payments on some of that stuff. Rent center was a thing, okay? so we're back to Kody and Janelle, and then I'm just gonna bang through this real quick, and I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity. Yeah, so Janelle, she brings up a couple things. She said, Kody, we could talk about, moving there, or you could buy me out. So she has suggested to Kody he'll buy him out. And the first thing Kody says is, what about us? And this was a strong indication for me that people do what they're used to doing. When people meet certain challenges, you can tell who they are by what they do, because that's how they've always done it. And what this tells me is, or not even tells me, what it confirms for me is that when Kody is confronted with any of the wives, he uses love language, or he tries to love bomb them to distract them away from the issues that they have, or currently, or the issues that they're being confronted with. So Kody looks at it like, no, she starts asking about the money, and all of a sudden this dude's, well, what about us? What about our relationship? You think we're gonna be able to work it out? Maybe I can slide through and slip you some of this, you know. And Janelle, staying on business, 10 toes down, about her business. She look at him and say, what about that? I need to talk about this land. You're not pulling me off of the land on some stupid ass conversation about the relationships. We've been talking about the relationship and how it's not going to work out, how we ain't meant to be together, and how it's so sad that we're not going to be together. And we've already had this conversation. Now we're here to talk about the property, to talk about what we're going to do, because we only have 3.5 months left. So we need to figure out what it is we're going to do. I don't want to talk about the relationship. And this again goes back to what I was saying back in season 17. If you really want to have a conversation about your relationship and the luxury of the relationship, let's take care of this stuff we need to take care of. The things we need to take care of is my money investment. Because if we do get back together, and this is just me looking at the whole big picture, if we do get back together, how in the world do you think this is going to affect our relationship? If you owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars and you screw me out of my money, do you think I'm going to be up for romantic evenings, walks in the park, romantic walks to the convenience store with the puppies? Do you think I want to do that with somebody who owes me hundreds of thousands of dollars? I would suggest that if you a man and you owe your wife hundreds of thousands of dollars and you lost, say, the house, or you lost the property that you guys had invested in, you lost her life savings. If I was you, bruh, I wouldn't walk past the body of water with her. Okay? I wouldn't walk past the body of water. I wouldn't pass traffic anywhere where there's a car or a bus passing and the sidewalk is kind of narrow. No, where she could accidentally trip and push your ass in front of the bus. I wouldn't be nowhere near that. The firearms in the house will be all cleared out. we wouldn't have not a sharp, we wouldn't have anything in the house with an edge on it. And I damn sure wouldn't eat or drink anything at your crib. That's just me. If I owe you that much money, you talking about as much money as him and Robyn were took away from the OG3, I wouldn't even go to, I wouldn't even, I guess it makes sense. I would eat out with her. Like I'll go to restaurants with her, but I want to eat at her house. No, thank you. Yeah, I mean, ooh, this soup tastes like almonds. Next thing you know, boom, boom, woo, 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 right to the only thing gonna beat your ass to the hospital is the headlights to the ambulance you riding in. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But but yeah, I totally believe that it was a diversionary tactic when he starts bringing up the relationship. He's trying to get her off of the property, which he's been doing. Oh, if she's not trying to work it out with me, then I don't want to work it out with her. You don't have that option. See, that's the thing that kind of pisses me off. If I invested in you and I gave you money, monetary investment, you don't have the option to turn around and say that it's none of my business and you're not going to include me in on what it is we plan on doing to remedy this situation. You don't get, you lost that right. Now, you could tell me if we're going to talk about our interpersonal relationship, our marriage, our romantic relationship, fine. You can tell me that you don't want to have that conversation. It's something that you don't feel comfortable talking about. Okay, I can't force you to talk about that, but I can damn sure get you to talk about my money. Okay, maybe you don't want to talk about your money, which is fine. We don't have to talk about your share. We don't have to talk about your cut, but we need to start talking about how I'm gonna get my money up out of this. And that's where I think Janelle was at. And I'm happy that she stuck up for herself when it came down to it. Let's see. I just want to make sure I hit what I want to hit. We can open up the phones. Yeah, the last thing I'll talk about this, and now I'm gonna have to roll videos out on this because there was a lot to cover in this. But the last thing I want to say is his decision to when he brings up them getting back together, and he mentions the kids and how he sees her as like the pathway for the kids. She brings up Robyn. Janelle brings up Robyn, and she says, you know, well, you kind of have somebody who you hold above everybody else. Oh, I don't want to talk about her because that's going to create problems, and you can tell he's getting tight in the draws. Okay. First of all, bruh, you need to lower your tone and watch how you talking to me. Okay. If we having a conversation about our relationship and you're coming back asking me about getting back together, and then I'm trying to address the reasons why our relationship fell apart in the first place, and you gonna start trying to drop some bass on my ass because I bring up the stuff that we were going through. You asked me about getting back together. I'm telling you why I can't get back together with you because this is why we broke up. And you gonna start, look, I ain't talking about that right now. Excuse me? Oh, for real? Oh, okay. But excuse me. I mean, that's when back in the day, that'd be when you see the folks sitting there talk, who the fuck is he talking to? He ain't talking to me. That conversation that you're not involved with, you know what I mean? You sit there watching them talk to themselves. That's where I would be at. Who is he talking to? I don't know. He ain't talking to me. He talking to you. He ain't talking to me. There must be somebody in here. Maybe he's out of his damn mind. You think? Yeah. Because clearly he ain't talking to me this way. And I know he ain't talking to you. You damn right about that. You would have me talking to myself. That's how mad I would be in this situation. You can't bring up Robyn, the sacred cow, the sacred heifer. Can't bring up the sacred heifer because what the hell was that? Because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Oh, my whole mind would have blew out right there. Are you crazy? First of all, and the only thing I would say about that, and I'm glad Janelle had the conversation. There's nothing wrong with the way she had the conversation, but for me, okay, you know what? We don't need to talk about our relationship right now. That's not why we're here. Because honestly, if you gave a shit, and pardon my French, I'm just cussing up a storm. I got to though, because I got to get it out. You don't care. You don't give a damn about our relationship. You don't care about our relationship. Because if you cared about our relationship, you would have been calling. Okay, you wouldn't wait around for me to call you to find out about my money. Then all of a sudden you want to start talking about the relationship. If you really wanted to get back with this woman, you would have been calling her, trying to meet up with her, trying to hook up with her, because that's what people do when they're attracted to you. So what are we getting back together for if you're not attracted to me? If you can honestly say, then only thing I did, only crime I committed is I wasn't in love with these 3 old women. I wasn't in love with them. I got a little tight tenderoni at the house, and that's all I really want. If you can say that honestly, then what the hell are you pretending like you give a shit for? Don't sit here and play with people's emotions. Don't play with people's emotions. And then you want to sit here and Janelle's got a card and she writes victim on it. You're the one that's sitting here crying, bitch. Oh, you about to get me cussing. James, you about to lose yourself. Yes, I am. Hey. Excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Wash that all down. You're the one sitting here crying. Okay, you're the one crying every 5 minutes about how you make your family, how you want everybody back. You're the one crying. She's not crying. She's moving on. She's over it. She's happy. She's here to talk about her money. And if you're not here to talk about my money, then what are you doing here? Because clearly you're not here for romance. The only reason why you want to talk about romance is because I'm asking about my damn money. And this is where it gets weird, especially with these manosphere guys. Oh, they just trying to use you for your resources. That's why they have this term that the women will try to get with the guys because they want to be with them because they have a lot of stuff. The term is hypergamy. These women suffer from hypergamy, where they want to try to get men to elevate their social or economic status. So that's why they try to get with the men. But dude, she's not moving in with you. She's not using you for your money. You still living in her money. How is she hypergamous? You're the one that's using her for her money. You think you some kind of polygamy gigolo? Is that what it is? You the polig jiggo? They call you Jiggy. He getting jiggy with it. He was out there with Will Smith doing his little, two-step. Are you serious right now? Is that where you are? Is that what we doing? So when she asks about her money, all of a sudden she's trying to get your money. And this is where you get confused. Just because you married to somebody, and I understand my money is your money is my money. But when the relationship starts to fracture and everybody goes to their own separate corners, her money becomes her money and your money becomes your money. It's not her fault if you're not happy with your part. If you're not happy with your money, you should have worked harder. You should have made more damn money. But to sit here and take it out on her, this is crazy. And the one thing I will say in closing before I open up the phone lines, if you get me worked up, if when he talked to Janelle about talking to the kids and how he feels so bad about the kids and how the kids don't call him and I don't Janelle, the kids don't really want to deal with me. And Janelle looked at this joker and said, look, that's between you and them. I don't want to be in the middle no more. I'm not going to tell nobody nothing. This comes from a place, and at that point I was like, yes, hell yeah. That's exactly what you tell them. Because didn't you, for 2 seasons, bark, yell, scream, holler, condemn, cuss her ass out about her telling your kids something? You don't tell my kids nothing. You told her back in season 17 around the campfire in the back of Robyn's house, you don't talk for me. You don't tell my kids nothing about me. You said that about your mouth. Then the next season, well, it was probably that same year because, remember they had like even though it was like it was the end of season 17, and in season 18 they had the big blow up fight. That was only like a month later. I think that wasn't even a month later. It was like a few weeks later when they had the big blow up in Janelle's house. He sat there and hollered at Janelle about how she's messing up the communication between him and his kids. My thing is, you don't get to do that. You don't get to come to me and accuse me of something and blame me for something, and then you expect me to do it again. Trick me once, shame on you. Trick me twice, shame on me. Or in the words of George W. Bush, trick me once, shame on you. Trick me twice, you ain't gonna be able to trick me again. Okay? You're not gonna be able to keep tricking my ass and do the same dumb stuff so we got the same dumbass conversations. I learned from my mistakes. So if you have a problem with these kids, they're your kids too. You pick up the phone, they're adults. They not only have their own phones, these kids now, I've seen like there's kindergartners walking around with cell phones, okay? You can get in touch with these kids if you want to get in touch with them. You're talking about adults who have their own families. They don't even live with Janelle no more. So really, your relationship with those kids is not Janelle's business. It's not her business. Just like if things were going good between Kody and the kids, if he looked and said, I'm going to let, call the kids or whatever, and Janelle was there trying to backstab him on the phone, he could say, Janelle, leave my name, don't talk to my kids about me. That's none of your business. And he wouldn't be wrong. Like, same, Kody. Don't ask her to get involved with your business. If you don't want to take time out to call these kids, you can't employ me to call you. And what he's struggling with is the fact that Janelle is looking at him saying, you know what? I'm not your lackey. I'm not going to do your dirty work no more. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Finito. Broke off. Cut me out. I'm done. And that's where it is. And that's why he's all pissed off and pissy with Janelle and cry like a little hoe. Oh, little skip scallywag. Oh, Janelle, I'm not going to tell you about this. You're going to lose your money. That's why I hope Janelle contact the lawyer. The last thing I'll say about the whole lawyer thing, then I'm opening it up. But the whole thing is, she said she spoke to the lawyer that Kody had spoke to before about Kody Pass. He's a real estate lawyer. That's probably the lawyer that told Kody way back, like season 14, 15, told Kody that, Kody Pass was worth all his money and he should sit on it and invest, turn into investment property and all that. Excuse me. And so the thing with that kind of attorney-client relationship, technically, that attorney couldn't represent either one of them, because if anything, Kody would have ties to him because he met with just Kody, and that would be Kody's attorney. So he couldn't necessarily, because of conflict of interest, he couldn't meet with Janelle and become Janelle's attorney to sue Kody. And he couldn't meet, I would even say that realistically, he probably shouldn't even meet with both of them, because you can't serve two masters. Like, you can't be there and look out for Janelle's best interest and Kody's best interest, because the client relationship would be established maybe leaning towards Kody, but it's too muddled. In all fairness, in my mind, it would be too muddled for you to be able to say, I'm going to represent Kody in this situation. Because technically at the time, I think he was representing the family. So, there's too much of a conflict of interest. So she really should get a completely separate attorney to review this documentation and review this work. Like she said, there's a lot of attorneys in Arizona. And if you got to go over to Scottsdale or you got to go to Phoenix, that's fine. You don't necessarily, I prefer, personal preference. If I was doing any type of litigation, I would prefer to get somebody local, because they understand not only the court systems, procedures, and, in the courthouses, but they usually have relationships with the judges and the other attorneys in town. So they usually have a working relationship with them, which could make any settlement or resolution a little easier. But you can do what you got to do. Okay. Do what you got to do. All right. Let me give a real quick super chat. Recognition to Karen Joseph. $2 super chat. First super chat ever in life. Thank you so much, Karen. All right, first super chat. I'm going to come up with something special for you. You are out of this world, Karen. Thank you so much. Whatever. Let an astronaut doing the WAP. No, that's not the WAP. That's the Cabbage Patch. Oh yeah, old head coming through. Know my stuff. I don't know what the new kids call it. Oh, Teresa Skinner, pride going before the fall. That's right. Okay, I'm a former paralegal. Janelle and Mary need to sue Kody and Robyn for fraud, conversion, and unjust enrichment. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Possibly embezzlement, because technically the money that they were using was money that was invested in the Kody Brown LLC that they were all members of. And if they were taking that money and using it inappropriately, it would also be it would just be conversion, but it would also be embezzlement charges. So, yep. Thank you so much from the paralegal force. We know who do the work. We know who do the work, drafting them pleadings and stuff. Was this Brandon Jackson? Kody said she moves on Cloudy Pass, he would leave her there and not build there, so she would get left with the property taxes. Not only the property taxes, but you would have a piece of barren, bare land, and possibly she would take her 4 acres and she would live amongst strangers, and she wouldn't have the opportunity to live with Maddie or live close to the people that she wants to be around. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't even know why Janelle's at this point. I don't know why she's even playing with the whole concept of saving the land. Forget that land. We're gonna sell this. You go into the meeting, and at some point, like, I respect Janelle and what she was trying to do, but like, I think a different tactic, even just thinking about it for as long as it was drawn out and everything that was going on with the family. Look, we need to just go ahead and sell the land, get it done. You give me my money. I want my share, my 4 acres worth of land. We pay it off, you deed it to me, and we sell it. Or we sell all 4 acres as is. Forget all that subdivision bullshit that Kody was talking about, big dreams, high hopes, and no planning, because that's what that is. You didn't have a plan for it. Nothing was planned out properly, which is why you got stuck with a balloon payment, why you were making minimum payments, and why you owe so much money at the end of the term of the loan. Nothing was planned out properly because you didn't put the mindset into what you needed to do. And because there's no plan there, that means that we have to take extreme steps in making sure that we're able to take care of the things we need to take care of, which means we need to just go ahead and sell this property as is so we can get our money out of it. We can maybe walk away with a little bit of profit. We're not going to walk away with the windfall that Kody was talking about with the whole subdivision and all that other crap. Forget that. That's a pipe dream. Is not going to happen. That's about as real as y'all getting back together at that point. So going with a plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to sell the land. I'm taking X amount of dollars, have the land appraised. You take your portion or whatever lot you're claiming and say, this is the lot I have. This is the money that you owe me. I want X amount of dollars from this thing. We're going to put it up for, say $1.5 million, right? I want my 750. And then you give Mary her 750, and then you guys take what's left because you have the McMansion. Okay. Which isn't a lot at first. It's all of it. So they get nothing. But that's just me. But yeah, so let me I'm gonna drop the drop the link, and I gotta find my link. And because we're kind of on short scales tonight. All right, there's the link. Drop it in there. Put it to the top. All right, so there's the link. I want to run a clock. Tonight, guys, gonna be a little more tight on time, just because we're a little tighter on time. Got a little late start. Plus, I gotta get up crazy early tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to limit everybody to 3 minutes, and then we're gonna be in and out, and then we'll probably end. Oh, maybe ending a little early tonight, but we'll get it. We'll get her done. We'll get her done as it was. All right. Wait 1 second. Uh-oh. I am looking for my, oh, there it is. All right, here we go. So 3. All right. All right. Got 2 up front. Betty, what's going on? How you
Hey,
doing?
girl, how you doing?
Doing well? What?
First and foremost, to the other Betty, congratulations as a community girl. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We all give you a hand clap.
How's it
But
going?
oh, wonderful! I hope you're having a wonderful week. Saw your video earlier. Awesome.
I am. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to call it
Well, I'm
early.
sorry, but with his little thing, I'm sorry, but I still think Cody has a little sugar in his tank. You know, just maybe a tad bit. But I'll try to make it quick because I know you got to get up early, and I do too, girl. But
Right.
talking about the land thing,
Mhm.
none of them were fiscally responsible, including Janelle. I love her, don't get me wrong. But having to, if you think back and she had to put the money down for Robyn to pay off her credit or, her debtors so that she can get the house.
Right.
And then they go into this and then they have a balloon payment on a land that they not only can't develop because when they develop it, I mean, they have to clear it. It had bubonic plague. I mean, I'm a mother. I would never want to put children, grandchildren anywhere near that because it has to be decontaminated. It has no infrastructure. You have to run lines for electricity, water. I mean, Jesus, the amount of money you would have to put in.
Right.
And to say up 4 acres, even
Mhm.
to develop 4 acres, what would you have to put into that just to get the electricity, the water, the decontamination? Astronomical.
Right. Right.
They act like it's like, I mean, when I was 19 years old, me and my husband bought our first house and we went with the real estate agent that told us a wraparound mortgage, and we were dumbass. Lord, forgive me for the language. We didn't know.
Mhm.
We had the house 10 years, and then suddenly the real estate agent that we bought the house from, that because it was her home, her husband got sued, went to jail, and they took our mortgage and we didn't know. And some guy bought it and we didn't even know it was up for sale. And
Wow.
he tried to charge us $80,000 for a $55,000 home, and we're like, no, honey, I
Yeah.
wasn't that stupid. So I mean, we were luckily able to get out of it, but they're still acting like they're 19 years old with no history of buying a home. Like, I mean, I'll be the first one to say we were dumb. We were
Mhm.
19 and 20 when we bought our first house. Didn't
Yeah.
have a clue what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
And then the tattoo thing cracks me up because I'm getting another one next week. I have so many, it's not even funny. But I'm getting my EKG because I had a heart attack and almost died, and now I'm alive and kicking. They can't get rid of me yet.
So I don't want you yet, right?
Girl, the Grim Reaper ain't seen me yet. Nope. I done
Well,
saw that sucker and said, not today. No.
right.
But I'm sorry, but did Cody not sound like Elmer Fudd? When Janelle talked about paying off that and buying her out, he said, what?
Yeah.
That sucker said, Elmer Fudd quick. He said, but I let you.
Right,
What
right.
about us getting back together? I hadn't seen you in 2 years, but
Cause
I
he,
love you, honey.
yeah, because he
That
needed
just
her.
cracks me up. And then I know I'm going to probably be the only one thing in this, but the only part, and I know it's an old story with Christine and David, but I love the fact that she gave her children an opportunity to voice their opinion.
Mhm.
It doesn't determine her decision. It's okay for her to say, I'm going to get married anyway, but it's okay for you to feel the way you feel.
Right.
And
Right.
I mean, like I've seen a lot of online stuff where she's taking a lot of heat and saying like, her kids. Well, most of her children are grown. The only one that's at home is Truly.
Right.
And she was developing a relationship as it was. But at 50 years old, it's time to put yourself first. At some point, you stop. You always love your children, but you stop living for your children.
Right. Right. Well,
And
they gotta live their life. You gotta live yours.
I mean, her children at this point, when she's doing this, are grown. Some are married, some have families.
Right.
Even Isabel, who I love, in college, she's developing her own relationships. I mean, like at some point, you say, "I'm living for myself." I mean, I've been married almost 40 years. At some point, we say, you know what? Your opinion is always welcome. You're welcome to it, but I live my life the way I want to live it. I
Fair
mean,
play. Fair
I don't
play.
need my kids' approval. I mean, I have my special little cookies. I don't need their approval for them. It's legal here.
Right. Right.
So,
Take care of your business.
which is probably why I'm talking more than I should. The pinch.
Just don't admit to no crimes. That's all right.
Oh, it's legal here. It's not a crime. I got a
There you go.
description,
There you
as
go.
they say.
There you
So,
go.
probably going to regret it tomorrow if I ever see this again. But I'll be like, oh, Lord, what did I say?
Right.
But,
Am I admitting the stuff? That's right. Whatever you got to do to get through. That's what it is.
well, they're good for migraines.
Right. Well, plus you said that you had some stuff going on, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you. You have a great night.
Death. And like I said, I mean, normally I would probably be more coherent, but had a migraine earlier and had a little pinch.
Hey, do what you got to do to get through. There you go.
Well, I love you, sweetheart.
All right, you have
And I
a
hope
good
you
one.
have a wonderful evening. And I
Thank
love
you.
your community.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. You're the first caller.
Aw, shucks. Don't that make me feel special?
There you go. You are special.
Oh, well, in more ways than one.
All right, have a good night.
You too, sweetie.
Thanks.
Night, night.
All right. And next up we have Michelle coming to the stage. What's up, Michelle? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm really happy. I start my radio therapy this week. So onwards and upwards. It's all good.
Okay. Things turning up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for having us on the show again, and congratulations, Betty, you superstar. That is incredible. That is brilliant.
Right.
Well done, you. I think Cody still thinks he's a character on one of his college stages, doing the old aside thing,
Right.
that where only the audience knows what is truly going on in his head. And he seems to forget that, everybody in his life has got access to television. And when he says stupid stuff like, well, why have we got to make it about what I said?
Right.
Because you said it.
Right.
That's why. You only felt safe saying it because for some, I don't know, weird midlife psychosis reason, you didn't think it would matter a jot in the larger scale of things. But you've been running your mouth and you can't keep expecting them to do the same stuff again and again and again. Do you know who the real hypergamist is? The man that married somebody because they were considered church royalty.
Right.
That is hypergamous.
Right.
The man that he treats women like cattle because he's gone in there. He might as well have been checking their teeth, their tail end, sending them out in the fields to do the work, take care of the young. And to me, he really should be alone until he can work out why he is such a screw up. He just, that's all I'm saying. And I'll get off the line because it's going to be a very busy night. And you look like you need a duvet. You look like you need a duvet, a pillow, and a cup of cocoa, darling.
Yeah. Going through it. Well, what? This is
Oh,
keeping
bless you.
energized, though.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll have a wonderful week, everybody. And, many blessings to you all. And I'll see you hopefully on the other side of all this nonsense.
There you go. There you go. Wishing for the
All
best.
right.
Thank you so much for
Thank
calling in.
you.
I appreciate you.
Take care. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Michelle in the house looking fabulous. Fabulous. Next up we have Emma coming to the stage. Emma, what's going on?
It's going good. Except for it wasn't going good. Because Cody killed my vibe. Oh my God. Okay, so weed's legal here in Minnesota. I was imbibing. And it's like, you get the good fuzzies, right? And it's just like, yeah. And then like everything, as soon as it hit the Janelle in the attic, killed everything. Everything. This is the first because you know me, and now I'm trying to put down bullet points. The first thing I wrote down: did I transport to another dimension? I think I've had a stroke.
Driving you crazy.
Oh my gosh! What do you think of Cody's delusion?
I think he's just immature. Like I've come to that. I've rounded that corner. I think he just has an immature way of viewing relationships and his importance in other people's lives. Like, yeah, he has this self-obsession where he thinks that because things are happening to him and it makes him feel sad, that everybody should feel bad. And things that he's happy and proud about, everybody should be happy and proud about. So his relationship with Robyn, everybody should celebrate it. The fact that nobody wants him around, everybody should cry and be upset that, he's not around or whatever.
Oh my gosh!
But
Okay,
it's
so
insane.
I was matching your energy about this conversation. Oh my God! Like, stop talking over her. She's being honest with you.
Right.
That kind of stuff. But also I know you'll have to go back and rewatch, but the generic weird music that they put over their fight,
Yeah.
and then it just stopped. What? Okay, anyway, just so that it's fun Easter egg stuff for people, I guess. But yeah, he just sits there and he denies, Robyn don't have me wrapped around my finger,
Right.
like, what? Anyway, yeah. Sorry. This is another note. My eye is twitching uncontrollably when Cody brings up the victim line.
Yeah. Captain Victimhood himself.
Here's my victim card. Am I being gaslit right now?
Right.
What? Yeah.
You didn't fall for that. You didn't feel sympathy for him in this situation.
No,
That he had to suffer through listening to Janelle air her complaints about his beautiful life.
And I have that written down. Reasonable Janelle. Reasonable Janelle. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. The man killed my buzz, dude. Why? Yeah. No, I think the whole part of that episode was that conversation that Cody had with Janelle that really pissed me off. It's like, I don't know, sometimes I think that he's addicted to the turmoil.
Yeah, I think so. I think he likes it. I think he likes the drama. I think because good or bad, it pulls him into the center of the conversation. So if things are happening bad and everybody is mad, at least he's getting attention. Like, he's that spoiled kid that's always looking for attention from somebody.
Well, you can tell that in his comment when he was all like, Janelle gave Christine her empathy, her time, and her love. After the knife in the kidneys talk, and it's like, but she's being human. I'm screwed up because of this.
No, it's no worries.
Apparently, my version of human being is different from others.
Well, I mean, it's crazy to watch, but you got to be careful watching him when you imbibing because he will kill your stuff. It can turn into a waste of weed. So
Dude, it did. Like as soon as he opened his mouth, all of a sudden it's like, meow. Like shit.
well, you know what's coming. Like this was in the previews. I knew they were gonna have this jacked up ass conversation from the start. I didn't realize. Like I don't know whether Cody's doing it on purpose though, because this is crazy.
He's not doing it on purpose.
You know,
He's a freaking toddler. He's a
yeah, this is
toddler.
crazy.
That's all I can come up with. He's a toddler. Like you're talking to Janelle, reasonable, financially safe Janelle. And she's trying to be reasonable, but she can't shut the fuck up about Robyn. Come on.
All right.
What? Oh, anyway, that's all I have to say. Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I'm appreciate it. Pleasure as always talking to you.
Thanks, James.
All right. You have a great night. All right. So we have next up. Oh, before I get to Brittany, we have a couple people that just dropped out. So guys, come on back. Let me give Raspberry a little celebration. Raspberry with the $5 super chat. Love murder, she wrote. And there was an episode where Jessica worked with an IRS agent called The Tax Man Cometh. Seems relevant to Kody. Ooh, yeah, somebody's gonna be sad. If the tax man hit the door, all I'm gonna say is, there's a thing when it comes to the IRS. IRS took down Capone Jack. I mean, they could get Capone for nothing. This dude was knocking off Chicago. He was a terror, but it was a damn, IRS did it to him. But let me give you a little something. All right. Okay. All right. So next up we have Miss Brittany, not Brittany. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Doing very well. How's everything coming?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I cussed a whole lot this episode, and I was just like, well, I went to church today, so that'll count for something. Maybe it'll cancel it all out. But my thing, first of all, when Tony and McKelty, please stop putting them on the show. But when Christine was talking about how her kids will kiss in front of her, I was just like, okay, aside from Tony and McKelty, which one of your kids like to tongue each other down, to tongue their spouses down in front of you? Because I kiss my man in front of my parents, and it's a quick peck. I'm not swapping spit with him. Y'all are making like macaroni sounds. And we don't need that. Secondly, Robyn was sitting up there talking about how, oh, it's this new concept where everybody thinks that I'm like controlling Kody, and she does this like witchy thing. And I was like, ma'am, you can't make that comment sitting up here looking like Agatha all along in this purple button-up shirt. That's just not, no ma'am. No, ma'am. We don't believe you. I think you are a witch.
Right.
In this moment, that's what I think. And then when she was like, I didn't tattle on Janelle. I just told Kody what Janelle said. Girl.
That's tattling, yeah.
That is what
like, I don't know where you came. Who raised this chick? I don't know where you from, but that's tattling.
That's tattling. I was like, you get on my nerves. And once again, here I come, hoping for the best. I'm not gonna cuss at Robyn. And here she goes saying nonsense. Once again, you know what? Next week, I'm gonna just cuss her out from the moment I see her and be done with it. I'm not even gonna try to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, don't make promises you can't keep. That's the
right. Right. I'm betraying myself.
Right, exactly.
And then last thing, and I'm a dip. Janelle always talks about how Kody is a good dad. And I feel like this is another example of how comparison works in their family, because Kody is only a good dad in comparison to Janelle's dad. And
Mhm.
the bar was in hell when it came to Janelle's dad, by her own words.
Right,
She says
right.
that like he really wasn't engaged with them, he didn't really care. And Kody likes to play with kids. And you know what? It is one thing to watch someone play with kids that are not theirs that they get to give back in an hour. It's another thing when someone's parenting.
Right.
That's a whole nother level to that when it comes to kids. And I'm really tired of hearing Janelle push this narrative that Kody was a good dad, because by all accounts, up until Robyn, he did the bare minimum. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
he didn't change a single diaper. Or maybe he changed one diaper of
Mhm.
the OG 13. He didn't start changing diapers until he had Robyn's kids.
Right, right. Well, because I think that what Janelle remembers is that she had a separate experience with Kody,
Hmm.
because she had the boys, and her
Yes.
boys were the strong athlete, the older ones, like
Right.
the first set. So
Hmm.
between Logan and Hunter, they were like the star athletes of the Brown family. So
Yeah.
you know how it is, like the
There's some bias there.
they would get the preferential treatment because they're like the mother or the father who likes to get attention when they walk out with their baby, and their baby's like super cute, and everybody
Yes.
comes running around. Oh my goodness, your baby's so cute. And they
Hmm.
get that attention, they get that shine
Right.
from the baby. When you have a star athlete child, the father gets to stand in, that's my son, look, yeah, running
Hmm.
through all them kids, knocking them all down. That's my boy, I
Yeah.
trained him how to do that. Like, so you get to share the shine. And I think that that's what Kody liked.
Yeah.
And so that might be the special time and how involved he was as a parent. You feel that, like, I think she genuinely feels that because she got to experience that with him. But like
Right.
you said, that's not necessarily a good dad or an involved
Right.
parent, because if he's only involved when they got practice and they got games, then he's not an involved parent. What about the times when they have problems, they're not doing their homework, or they have disciplinary issues, or they have a trouble at school, they getting picked on, or they're picking on somebody
Hmm.
else, whatever the case may be. They're sad, they're lonely, or whatever, and you're dealing
And
with their day to day.
and who was the one taking them to the games though? I don't
Right,
see Kody taking them in his little two-door white convertible. He was not taking none of them kids to practice in the games. He showed up to those games by himself and got to act like the cool dad.
right, right. Probably
And
wearing all the gear.
oh God, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
talking about the highlights of his wrestling career. It's like,
right.
"Oh yeah, back in 1980, da 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 da." And just yes. And then last thing, and I promise I'm done. Cody really does not have any self-preservation, because there are knives at this restaurant. Why are you acting a fool?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'd have gave him sporks.
You
Not today. Not
you
today,
know what?
Satan.
You know what? The way my attitude would have been, I could have done something with a spork. So like I'm carving
Yeah.
out eyeballs.
Like
Give me my money.
y'all should have pat me down on the way in here.
Right.
Yeah. Run that wine on me.
Right. Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in,
Of
Brittany.
course. Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Take it easy. You have
You
a good
too.
night. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. All right. Next up, we got Jules in the house. Jules, what's going
Hello?
on?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I
Oh my
can.
goodness. Oh, I'm so happy to be talking to you, and hi to everyone in the chat. You guys are lit, have been lit, and I'm just excited. I'm actually up really late just for this because Cody got on my last nerve today.
Who
Last
you
nerve.
telling? Yep.
Okay. And with that being said, there's a lot about Janelle that has been revealed, I feel, in the last season and in this season. And this conversation, like when she made like that comment about, I kind of, I still get that feeling in my stomach, but like when he asked about them being together, I'm like, what are you talking about? He kicked your kids. He told your kids leave the house. He
Right.
pretty much treats you like dirt. He doesn't even contact Savannah. What are you talking about? You need to get your money and dip. Like,
Right.
stay focused, It's almost like when she's in person and like she's in front, sitting in front of him, she kind of like gets lost in thought. I mean, or gets like the giggly sort of, like a little girl almost. That
Right.
was odd to see, and I felt bad for her. And I also feel like I wonder if her children had to watch her be like that. And if that's where a lot of the stress, like for Gabe, who's highly emotionally intelligent, that guy is very emotionally intelligent, that kid. And I presume his brother was as well. May he rest in peace. I think her children seem to be way more emotionally intelligent than she has ever demonstrated to be. And that's a big problem, when your kids are sort of noticing things about you, and you can't be like for me anyway, my parents could never do any wrong until you realize that they can. And it's like, dang, oh my god, they make mistakes, but to have to see Janelle in that place where a simple question of, well, what about us, and she couldn't even answer the question straight, I felt like she's still in danger. And I wonder if that little bit that we got to see may have been what Christine was seeing, why she kept asking her, well, are you done with Kody? Are you done with Kody? Are you finished? Are you done? And she was getting irritated. Another thing is, over the years, as we have all got to witness, Robyn has always been sitting quietly, but always in person when Kody goes to have these big important conversations with one of the other sister wives. She's always around, especially when it's something to do with like money or a big decision that may involve her as well. I find it very interesting that in the last like couple seasons, she's always conveniently missing when one of these important decisions have to be made. But then she's confused when they ask, when in the confessional, she has all these opinions, but she's confused. She can't count. She doesn't remember. Like she has amnesia. She has all these symptoms that happen, and she remembers what she wants to remember. That
Right.
woman is making out like a bandit. What is your take on what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Sorry, I'm like kind of running off at the mouth,
No,
but
no,
I wanted to get it all out.
no, it's fine. It's fine. I appreciate you banging it out. But I think that you're right. I think that Robyn has always tried to make herself present because
Hmm.
she's also, not only does she want to know what's going on and be a part of the
She
conversation, but
wants
she
to try to
also wanted
control the situation too.
to control what Kody was going to say and what his
Hmm.
responses were going to be, because she understands
Yes,
that if
sir.
Kody doesn't necessarily think when he says
No,
things,
he just like has word vomit
right,
every time. You can count for every episode that Cody's going to say something, and you're going to have to check yourself and ask yourself, did he just say that? Because he's a grown man and he's been on this planet long enough to know you don't say stuff like that to people. Like,
right,
what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking? And then just like in reference to his children, we all, okay, we know Robyn is the love of your life, we know you love her, we know this, okay, we know. But to continually just go in about how he never loved their mothers and he never loved them and he never and not connect in his walnut of a brain that when you make a comment like that, a child can feel the possible prang of thinking, well, well, it, do those feelings transfer onto me as well?
mhm,
And not be able to understand when you for every time that you say I don't love their mother, every time you say I never loved her and she never this and she never that, like he can't connect that could be hurting them. And
right,
these kids are young. There's a few of them that are close to or still underaged. So
mhm,
like he has no sort of like thought for what he says, and it seems like his main focus is always his feelings. That's always the pinnacle of his thought. And even when he's being faced or being flat out told, this is what you said word for word, he will find some, like Sonny and Cher. Why are we talking about Sonny and Cher? What do they what do they have to do with anything? Please tell me what they have to do with anything when you were 5 years old when they died.
right,
What when Sonny passed or what when they broke up, divorced or whatever. Like I feel as if I wonder if sometimes he plays up for the show. He just can't be this dance. I
right,
don't want to believe
right,
it. I don't want to think it. I think he wants the show to keep going on. So now he's decided he's going to be a villain, and he just does this because who does that? Who?
right. Right.
If he's
Right.
not an idiot, the show's over, right? I mean, right? I mean, am I
No,
wrong? But
no, you're
anyway,
not wrong at all. That's what I was saying. I don't know, like, cause watching it, like, he's extra. Like, this is extra evil.
extra.
Yeah, it's extra evil. So either he's just crazy as shit, or he's just doing like he's doing the most
He's doing the
on his
most, and
show.
I feel like Robin kind of is now seemingly like trying to play like she's trying to take like she took a few little maybe acting she checked out some acting on YouTube or whatever, because now she's in the bathroom on the floor crying. She's trying to pull the teardrops are trying to come out. She's trying to make an effort to pull sympathy when we have seen you from day one be devious, dirty, and underhanded. We see you, girl. We see you. Ain't no
Right,
going back now. And we got seasons and seasons and seasons of this, you know?
right,
I just
right,
feel bad for her children because eventually they're gonna grow up and they're gonna put two and two together. They are. I wonder if that's why her son does not want to be on the show. But anyway, we could only speculate about the kids, you know.
right.
But that was my take, and I don't want to take too much more time, but I'm just happy to be able to talk to everyone. I love this channel. I love your community. I am just a big fan of it, and I'm going to continue to watch, and we'll all see what happens.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate you.
All right,
First
you take
time
care of
up. I
yourself.
appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, I'm coming through. All right, thank
All right,
you.
have a good one.
All right, good night.
All right, good night. All right. Oh, before I get to the next person, we have Negla in the house. But before we go there, I have YouTube is my time machine. The $5 super chat. Can Kody make it any more obvious that he just doesn't want to pay Janelle? I don't think so. The only thing he hasn't done is when she brings up the money, jump up, clear the table, and then run out the door. Like, that's the only thing he hasn't done. He isn't even good at trying to fool Janelle. Yeah, he's at that point. The sad part is I think he's at that lazy man stage. Like, he's so done with the lie that he's not even putting any effort into lying anymore. Like, that's how crazy it is. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah. What about us getting back together? What do you think about that? I don't. Even though I've said repeatedly that I never loved you. What about us getting together? I'm gonna just float that out there. Come on now, get it together, Chief. You know what I mean? Like my man said, like Little Hunter said, I'm gonna have to clip that. Settle down, Johnny Appleseed. But thanks so much. YouTube is my time machine. I appreciate it. Settle down, Johnny Appleseed. Next up, we got Negla in the house. What's going on, Negla? How you doing?
Hey James, hanging in there. Just so you know, I did put in the chat. I was like, "Look, I got my beverages ready," and I know you. So yours is a clear beverage, and it's water.
Yes.
Mine is a clear beverage. It is not water. Look, I needed that this episode because I was like, "The what now?" Like the whole time, I'm thinking, like, "Okay, that's interesting."
Yeah,
but
well, if I did that, it would be this whole thing would be unusable.
You will be demonetized, suspended.
YouTube might call me up. Like, they might call me in person. Usually they
Like,
give me
bruh.
like an email or something, but they might call me up like, James, you know you went too far.
Oh, that's sad that people take you to, I mean, you know what I mean? That's just but I got my little paper and notes.
Okay.
But I have made the super chat about Dobby. You have to understand Harry Potter. Dobby was a house elf and he was enslaved to this really, really bad family. And the only way to be free was to give him clothes. And so the master accidentally gave him clothes because of Harry, who was the good guy. And he was like, "Oh, Dobby is a free elf. Dobby is free." And that's kind of the way I feel like Christine is like, "I'm free. I can actually get tattoos. I can actually, kiss my husband if I want to. I can actually, you know what I mean?" So I kind of, even though I don't like all the extra, I don't want to see your tongue or his. I feel it, you know what I mean? And Dobby was like always doing the most. So I mean, I get it. If you've lived 40 plus years, this one way, and now you're free. So But
Well, I think that's a good point too, because that's something I hadn't considered. Like the reality of it is getting tattoos and things of that nature, maybe things that she's always wanted to do, but because of the restrictions and the religion, she could never do it. And
right.
now that she's out of the religion and out of the marriage, she's just doing the stuff that she's always wanted to do. You know, I can't be mad at her for that.
Well, and for me, now I love my husband. We'll be married 5 years in January, together 6 come January. But the only 3 names I have Negla 3 on my neck because I'm the third Negla. And then I have my 3 kids' nicknames above my left. I don't. I could probably say breast. If you could say slap
Right.
pokery, I could probably. Anyway, but that's because that's where they nurse. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I love my husband. I you know what? But I'm not tattooing his name on me. Just
And I respect that. I respect that. Like, I get
I'm
it.
just not, you know.
Like,
So
those relationships is not changing. You know what I mean? They will always be your kid. So
thank you. I mean, no offense, but like, I mean, God forbid something happened to him, and then 10 years later, I meet somebody, you know, named Chris, and you know,
right.
you still got Jack on.
Right. Who's
You
this
know,
fella?
that's awkward. Well, they already think it's awkward because anyway, never mind. Because my kid's name anyway. All right, I'm gonna move on. So I know you don't have enough time to really go through the chats, but I'm just telling you, Rashar and Brittany, not Brittany, and we got a meeting to meet with Christine to deliver some Vaseline to her for the next time she goes to see Cody. If necessary, she can use it if necessary.
There you go. There you go.
It's only certain people will get that one.
That's right before they pop the earrings off. If you see somebody show with some Vaseline, they start popping off the earrings and they got a pair of sneakers in their hand.
When my man flipped that hat with the boat thing, you feel me?
The only thing worse is somebody showed up with Vaseline, an extra pair of shoes, is if they say, "I'll be right back," and they're going to go to their car. Don't be there when they get back.
No, that is your clue to leave, baby.
Right.
Leave. Be safe.
I'll be right back.
Don't call the police. Just exit the area.
Right, exactly. The party's over.
Let me see. Oh, well, one thing I have been observing is that Lord Fauntleroy and Robert they're hurt because no, this is not the way she pictured plural marriage, because she wanted to be the trophy. Like she wanted to be the favorite wife. And now because he only has one wife, she's no longer, I mean, yeah, she's the favorite, but you only got one. That's like being the only child. That's like my mom saying, "Oh, Negla, you're my favorite daughter." Well, I'm your only child. What is wrong with you? You feel me? So that, you know, but the one thing I did want to touch on, and maybe I should have done this a couple episodes back, but it really has been digging on me the more and more I watch this show or the series, is that Lord Fauntleroy, he really reminds me of my father. I am a daddy's girl. I love my father. He spoiled the heck out of me. Anytime I wanted to go to, you know, see him, you know, after my parents divorced or whatever, all I had to do was make a phone call. He was right there and all of that. And, you know, I love him. As adults, we sort of, you know, relationships, whatever, this, that, and the other.
Right.
But, and especially, and I'm not getting into politics, but especially like during this election season, he's sort of been kind of, so he and I are members of the same political party, but we're not voting for the same person. And every time we talk, he wants to talk about this particular person. And I'm like, look, Daddy, I'm 47, you're 77. I don't want to spend my time talking about somebody who don't pay my bills or change my baby's diapers or, you know, whatever, you know, you feel me? I don't want to argue with you about this person. I'm voting for the person of the other ticket, and we're going to leave it at that. And, you know, whatever.
Right.
And I have to, and because of that, he got mad at me. So I had to become the person. We have this thing on Saturday nights. We usually call each other about 11:45. He stops drinking at 12. So, you know, for 15 minutes we drink together, and then, you know, we talk, you know, for, you know, a couple more hours. But I realized as an adult I have to be, because we have more years behind us than we do ahead of us, I have to be the person to reach out, and I have to be the bigger person. And even though I do not like Lord Fauntleroy, we're very clear on that. I do hope that one day the children will be able to get to a point to where they can at least call and say, "Hi, Dad, how are you doing? The kids are doing, she did a macrame and got an A+ or whatever," and leave it at that. Don't go into, "Oh, well, the baby did," no. I don't need to know anything about your life or whatever. Not necessarily anything about your life or whatever, but I hope that he can grow to a point to where he can understand, talk to the kid about that kid and that kid's life. And the kids can grow to a point to where they can just tune that stuff out. Because when Daddy starts talking about that other candidate, I just tune it out and I say, "Okay, Daddy. All right." And then I change the subject. "So what did you eat for dinner?" You feel me?
No, I feel you. I feel you.
As a child who loves her father, I mean, if the boat's sinking and one of us got to get out, I'm jumping. You know what I'm saying? Because so I love my father, but as a child who loves my father, I had to get to that point in my life, spiritually and emotionally. And I hope the kids are able to do that before it's, kind of too late or whatever.
Right.
So, I just wanted to throw that out. I'm not defending Lord Fauntleroy in any way. But sometimes, you know how they say forgiveness is for you, not the other person.
Right.
And that's what they have to do.
No, I can see that. Because I've always taken a position, and then I gotta jump, but
Sure.
I've always taken a position that when I ask for Kody to improve himself or get better, it's not necessarily. And sometimes I'll get I'll say something online about Kody needs a da. This will improve his situation, and somebody will write back they'll write in the comment section because I read the comments, y'all. But they'll write in the comment section, "Oh, he won't do this, that, and other because he's a horrible person." I don't disagree that he's done wrong, and I think he's done wrong. But when I think about his relationship with his kids, I think about it not only from him missing out on his kids' life, but I'm thinking about it from the perspective of how his kids are taking it. His kids are hurt. That they, I might not like Kody, and many of us may not like how Kody acts, on the show. But at the end of the day, that's their dad. He's not my father. So, I don't really owe him anything. He doesn't owe me anything. I don't owe him nothing. So we don't owe each other shit. But for his kids, that's their father. That's their one shot. So, I hope he improves himself for them. I hope he's able to build their relationship back for them so that they can move forward in a positive manner. Because I don't want to assign blame as to what happened, the tragedy that occurred in the family. But, you always will wonder, and even as outsider, you will always wonder that maybe if he was around and maybe if he was having those conversations, maybe that would have been the thing to make a difference. Maybe it wouldn't have. But, you just wonder. So
just like I said, with the names and the tattoos, those 3 babies, ain't nothing going to change the fact that I carried them and they, I gave birth to them. Nothing's going to change the fact that I'm the 3rd Negla ever. My husband, I love him, but, he might get hit by a Mack truck tomorrow. And I mean, what I mean? I'm not wishing that on him.
I know.
But you get what I'm saying? And then in 10 years, I meet, somebody else and then, marry him.
You got some explaining to do.
Exactly. So he really needs to take inventory of that and think of, and this is where I do think that the therapy will help, but you have to be at a point, how they say with addicts, you can't make them go to rehab. They have to do it themselves. You know what I mean? They have to be the ones that recognize that there's a problem. He does not recognize, he sees that there's a problem, but he's assigning the blame to the wrong party. Right. And that's where the blinders are. He can't see past, it was me that was wrong.
Right. No, I agree. But so, thank you
so
much for calling in.
Thank you, James. Have a blessed week, and I'll be tuning in tomorrow night. Even though I am working the elections, please vote. I don't care who you vote. I do not care who you vote for. But please vote, make your voice heard. Otherwise, don't complain about nothing going on. Don't complain about the president. Don't complain about the roads not getting fixed. Don't complain about the street light broken. Nothing like that unless you voted. So,
Right.
anyway.
Thank you. Little PSA. Thank you so much, Nicola.
Take care. All right.
All right. Excellent point. Make sure you vote. That's important. I just had a conversation with my son about that tonight. If you don't have a seat at the table, you can't decide what's for dinner. And if you don't have a seat at the table, most likely they will be having you for dinner. So make sure you get out and vote. All right. So next up, we got Jenny Jet in the house. What's going on?
Hello.
Yes. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go straight to it. So I've always been very curious about Janelle's conversation with Robyn about the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so remember when Janelle reflected? I forget what season it was, but it wasn't this one. How I knew where this direction of the conversation was going because they were going back to I guess Janelle and Robyn having a conversation about buying or renting. And
Right.
yeah, and now it was brought up in this episode about that. Now, what I got from it, even we all know Robyn is trying to get out of it, right? Oh no, like Janelle said that her and I had this conversation, and somehow it got to Cody, right? It wasn't through her; it had to be through Robyn. Now, Robyn, the safe word, right? Did she share, quote unquote, the conversation about this, or was she trying to play the victim?
Yeah, and that's kind of the question because apparently Janelle had a conversation about the McMansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're spending too much money, which is that's a common sense conversation. If we spent $890,000 on land that we have to develop and then build on, and you're going to take and make another big purchase, yeah, I have concerns. In a smaller family, it could be something as simple as you and your husband are saving money to buy a house, and then he decides he's going to run out and buy a car. Like, that's a big purchase. So, before we start getting to another car payment, maybe we should figure out what we're going to do with this house payment. Let's figure out that we can stay in this house before we go out and start trying to get fancy with some cars. So Janelle was having that common sense conversation. And it sounds like Robyn went back and did what Robyn does, because Robyn liked that house. And and this is my perspective. So she said she disagrees on what she said on the show, but she said she wanted to rent a 5-bedroom house. There's not a whole lot of 5-bedroom houses that are just up for rent, that aren't vacation homes. There's no long-term rentals where they just, 5-bedroom houses. So if you want a 5-bedroom house, most likely you're going to have to purchase it. So you set the parameters and the guidelines in such a way that it's most likely that you're just going to have to buy the house. So, oh my goodness, now we have to buy the house. I can't believe this is happening. And when Janelle comes back to complain, she runs back, Robyn runs back, and she tells Cody that this is what's going on and it's not fair. And so Cody comes back, you're being mean to Robyn, because now you're saying that she shouldn't get this big house. She shouldn't get the big house, because we're trying to figure out how we're going to pay for this big land that we just purchased. And it's like all my money is getting tied up into this stuff. It's not like Robyn is doing the house by herself. Like, if Robyn would have did a Mary and she said, look, I want a big house, so I'm going to take my money and I'm going to go buy me a big house for me and my family. It is what it is. But you don't get to use my money.
Yeah, but
to buy you a house.
I agree with everything, but it started hitting me as well. Could it be that Cody is his work? Is Cody pinning Janelle and Robyn against each other as of that house? It just got me thinking a little bit,
Right.
a little bit deeper, or another theory, right? Like, could this be? Because I would like, and I assume everyone else would like to see Robyn and Janelle, just them two, specifically of what went down during that conversation.
Right.
Because I believe that Robyn wanted her way, and manipulated, right? But now, what about if Kody? Well, obviously he did want it his way as well, but was this the way that he pinned these two against each other? I don't know, because we're not seeing those conversations. It's just like they don't sit together. Their reunions are not together.
Right.
They're separate. So we don't know.
Well, because I think I think both things could be true. And
Mhm.
I'll say it this way. Like I think that does wow, I just hit the mic. But does Robyn when she meets with Janelle, she's finding out information because one of the things that part of the reason why I said what I said about Robyn's attitude towards things. If Robyn disagrees with something, she makes no bones about disagreeing with things. And she'll disagree in front of Kody, in front of the other wives, and she
Oh, yeah.
says her piece. So she's not this quiet shrew that she portrays herself on the show. Like I've seen on the show where she's come out and outright disagreed.
Yep.
But I think she uses like Robyn has her own motivations for why she does stuff. At the same time, Kody wanted to have the big, fancy, expensive house. So when Janelle criticizes Kody for trying to get this big, expensive house, he takes that personally because he wants the big, expensive house. And how dare you question whether I should get this big, expensive house or not? So I think they're mad about the same thing, but for different reasons.
Mhm.
And Robyn goes back and tells Kody, but when Kody gets upset or he mentions that to Janelle and he reveals that they've had this whole conversation, how difficult would it have been for Robyn to go back with Janelle and then confront Kody with Janelle? Like if she really was on Janelle's side and she really, like she said she was on Janelle's side, she 100% agreed with Janelle. And that's what, if she really did that, why wouldn't her and Janelle especially miss, we all need to get in the same room and have the conversation. We all need to, communicate as a family. We
Right.
need to communicate better.
I'll email them. I'll camp out.
Right. Yeah, I'll do what I got to do in order to make this all work. If she was that serious about it, the only reason why I think that she was involved is because if she was that serious about it and that opposed to getting the house, then she would have met with Janelle because she knows how to get, Robyn, whether you like her or not, she knows how to get stuff done.
Yeah, she was playing both sides. And
Right.
then Janelle didn't agree with Kody.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I think you're onto something. And because I've said it in the past that I definitely think he was using triangulation where he
Mhm.
would try to pit the wives against one another. Like I
Yeah.
100%, like that's how he conducted the entire relationship with the OG3 even before he met Robyn. So yeah, it would make sense that he would totally do that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And to end it with Janelle knowing Kody so well that she even take it back further when they were still living in Vegas, how Kody has a favorite and Kody and her were sitting on the couch in her house and would you run into the sunset? Oh no. And then remember the earlier when like they were dropping this season, we see Kody and Robyn in a fucking horse riding off, dude. I haven't seen the episode yet.
Right. Like a broke down cowboy. Yeah.
What a jab. Oh my god, how petty.
Yeah, the
We're not
sundown clowns. Yeah, it's
to type it down. Like how fucking rude. How wow.
yeah, they're wild.
Out
They're
of all
wild.
things to do together, right? Out of all things to bond over. Oh yeah, we're in Flagstaff. We're gonna just, get a horse and
Right. The dad has horses down in Wyoming, which is crazy too. Like if they want to ride horses, they could go to Wyoming and ride as many horses as they want.
I mean, then they probably bought a fucking horse.
Right. Well, I mean, he's buying pocket bikes that are sitting out on County Pass, so I guess why not? What's one more expense instead of paying off County Pass? Who knew? Like, you know what I mean?
No, yeah. And very last thing, Christine, I'm so sorry. With Christine with her tattoo, I love it. I do tattoos as well. I'm a homemaker now because I have 2 kids, but before my single time, that was my income doing tattoos.
Mhm.
I love it for her. First tattoo, I don't care how old you are. I learned through my experiences. I'm not gonna question if that's what you want. There's a story behind it. Great, that's awesome. But I'm also here for you if you want to cover it up. So
So when it
all
goes
for
horribly wrong, like we could put a butterfly on it.
oh fuck yeah! Like it's a perfect placement, single line, and then I think the tattoo in itself is like a combination between her initial and his initial, but intertwined with other things, so it's not so obvious.
Right, right.
But it could be stamped, and who knows? Who knows what could happen? It could be stamped like this happened in after my divorce, and then I got married. Whatever, it's her story,
Mhm.
but she didn't go too crazy. That's what I'm saying.
Right, right, right. I mean, at
It,
least you didn't get a whole back done. Like, like
yeah, easily covered up. So
right, right. Well, thank you
thank
so much for calling
yeah.
in. I appreciate you bringing the expertise in.
Oh well, thanks. I think we all are in some way.
All right. There you go. I
Well,
appreciate your
okay.
take, though. All right. Have a good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. All right. So we got next up, guess what? We got Ross Hart. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure I got everything. Oh wait. Hold on one second. We have Rosalind Davis, 499 Super Chat. Cody, Janelle, Christine, and Mary need to wise up and stop defending an abuser. Robyn, your day is coming. Oh, yeah. Them shoes when they go on the other foot, they tight as hell. That's true. When that shoe goes on the other foot, it is tight. So it like you have to be careful because I think that's part of the cycle and the culture that they sit there and they make excuses for, they pardon, they overlook, they overshadow, and they just dismiss a lot of the things that happen. So Cody benefits from a lot of that. And I think that's part of what he misses, like that type of what do you call it, the cloak of charity. The cloak of charity is people would just not ignore the bad behavior. So it's a great point. And people gonna be who they are. So at the end of the day, when he runs out of the other three emotional punching bags leave, he's going to focus on the one he has, which is Robyn, the one that's left. And so I think that's also part of the reason why those relationships might be struggling a little bit. So good point, Rosalind Davis. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let me give you a little. All right. Next up, we got Ras R in the house. What's going on?
What's up? Oh my gosh,
Show.
I'm on the hotline with
There you
James
go.
and his take on reality and
Yep.
everybody in the chat. What's up, good people? Okay,
What's happening?
I'm trying not to wake this man up next to me, but I'm about to act up, okay? Because first of all, me, Negla 3, and Brittany Not Brittany, we are the cavalry that's going to save Janelle and go down and let her know she needs to get straight up with Cody and let him know where he can go. And our theme music is going to be James Brown, The Big Payback,
Oh,
okay?
shit.
Because Janelle is playing too many games. She's trying to be nice. So I'm going to be the devil's advocate tonight and just run down my opinion of everyone that's showing their two faces on all of these episodes. So, first, I wanted to say, I find it weird that nobody brought up Mary. Out of
Yeah.
all the callers, nobody even touched on Mary. Poor Mary. And when I say that with sarcasm. But Mary, she's long suffering. She will ride out this storyline of being connected to Cody as long as she can because she knows that her place in this particular show is running out. Her storyline, she's been so forgotten and left behind that she sees that she possibly doesn't have a future unless she's intertwined with this family somehow, some way. So, Mary, girlfriend, you're gonna have to get some type of storyline together. You better start dating or you better start dropping tea in order for them to want to sign you on again for the next season. So now
Mm,
let's hit on Christine. I love her to death. I'm Team Christine. And let me say that they owe Christine her kudos because it was her that started the mass exodus. It took Christine to leave before the others realized, you know what? We don't have to take this either. So they owe Christine her props for being the first one to be able to say, hey, I'm going to step out and I'm going to find my life outside of just being a concubine. You know what I'm saying? So
mm,
shout out to Christine. Much love to her on her new love. Let that homegirl get her tattoo. But I will say again, as playing, the unpopular opinion, she has this whole fairy tale love, giddy puppy love thing going on with her. And sometimes you can be excited about it, but then you get a little cautious and you're like, "Ooh, I hope she's not being blinded by love." You know how that can
right,
happen?
right.
Christine has always been the one who's been the first person to cover everything up that was nasty about their whole relationship. Do you guys remember that? She would be the main one being all giddy and talking about how plural marriage really works. She lived it, she grew up in it, and they just have this great foundation. And the whole time, her relationship with Cody was on the rocks. But she kept on that smiley face. And that's what concerns me sometimes about Christine. I think she has the tendency to rewrite things in a more positive manner, just so that it's more palatable and so that it looks good. So I hope that's not the case with her and David. I hope she has truly found true love. And even if it's for a short period of time, she deserves to feel that. Now,
Okay.
moving on to Janelle. Janelle better get it together and stop being two-faced. Janelle is so big and bad on her one-on-ones talking about, she don't want to be dealing with Cody and she told him over and over again it's over. But when he is face to face with her, she bows down to that man like he has some type of control over her. And what I think it is I think that is sexual chemistry. Now it's late. We all grown. I heard a few people got some cocktails and a little smoky here and there. So I think we can have this conversation. Janelle and Cody they have sexual chemistry. He's
Right.
mentioned that before. And I think he uses that at times to reel her back in. And again, unpopular opinion, Janelle is smart, but Janelle doesn't have much self esteem. She's always the one that's settling. She always settles for less, even though she's practical. She's smart. She's a budgeter, but she's always just okay with less. Oh, well, I really don't care about that. Oh, well, that really didn't bother me. Oh, well, I'm independent. Oh, I really don't need him to help me. Oh, I can just live in a trailer. Oh, and it's just always her dismissing everything off. She needs to realize she deserves more. She keeps talking about how, oh, I'm probably not going to date again. Or if I do get married, it'll be in jeans. It's not going to be anything really big. Janelle is afraid of getting what she deserves. So I want her to feel more empowered. I want Janelle to get it together. Janelle is fabulous, but I really want her to sit down and tell Cody where he can go. Because if he had a said to me, not to say nothing about his boo thing, I would have called her everything but a child of God and then threatened that man to do something. Do something. I'll tell it like it is. And then running down to Kody and Robyn because those two are like Velcro. They come together as one.
Right.
Y'all don't be fooled by them. They are both manipulators. They are both sitting back in the bedroom, rubbing their little feet together in bed, and sitting back and plotting on how they can get ahead. I put it in the chat. Robin and Cody has built their empire off the backs of the OG3, and they are laughing all the way to the bank. So don't think that Cody and Robin are at odds with each other. That's all a farce. That's all fake. That's for the cameras. That's to get them some brownie points. Robin will play the same game. Y'all got to remember, she knows how to play victim and victim mentality. She's a manipulator. So if she can play the victim in every scenario, even if that means she has to act like the long suffering wife, and Cody's being so unbearable, he's being so mean, I don't know what to do with him, she'll play that card if it'll get her some points. So Robin is the one that's holding the puppet strings, y'all. She's the one who knows. She's had Cody's nose wide open from the beginning. My grandmother used to tell me, you have the most influence over a man in the beginning of your relationship. And Robyn was the one who played that. So any woman who can come in and dismantle a family that had been going for almost 20 years in less than a year has some type of power or power of manipulation. So when you're getting ready to feel sorry for Robyn because Kody is just so unbearable, remember, she'll get on TV and say and do anything in order to get the popular vote. Okay? So I want the old Christine to come back and do her one-on-one so she can continue to spill the tea about all of the things that we know that Kody is stopping them from being able to say when they begin to talk about Robyn. And that's my take on reality.
Okay, okay. Great job. I can't disagree with anything you're saying. I like it. I like it. Well done. Well done. But thank
Have
you
a good
so much
night.
for calling in. That was awesome.
Thank you.
All right, have a great night. You have a
You
great
too.
voice too. You're
Oh, thank you.
quiet storm
All right
voice.
now. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Good night. All right. Oh, let me yeah, because we had Brittany and Negla had some things to say. So Brittany not Brittany with the $1.99 super chat. They put circles in Mary Barn thing, and I gasped. Because remember, she was anti-circled. I don't want to see no circles. She was pissed about them circles. So you and me both. But I did think it was funny. She was talking about putting a stripper pole in there. You know, they grown. They do what they got to do. Like Mary's been neglected. So she been neglected, rejected, and told that she was defected. So homegirl's ready to get it in. She ready to party. She's a grown ass woman. Negla 3, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Janelle has book smarts, but not street smarts. And I think that's fair play. Like Janelle, she even said in the book, and I think other people have mentioned in the book, Becoming Sister Wives, that Janelle is non-confrontational. Like, so she doesn't like those confrontations. She likes everything to go smooth. So she'll put herself aside. And like kind of what Roz was saying, she puts herself in a situation where uh she agrees to everything because she doesn't want to create waves. So it's not the way to live. It's not doesn't make you happy. But let me give both Brittany, not Brittany, and Negla 3 a little something, something. And then we're gonna bring up the last caller, I guess. Tanya Savage, and we'll be done for the evening. All right, all right. All right. Coming to the stage, Tanya Savage. What's going on? Is that Savage?
Hey, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Hey, hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hi. I just wanted to just a little comment with your previous caller. She was talking about Christine about like her smile. I think like that's a defense mechanism that she has to stay positive and bubbly. And you know, just like that's the way she copes.
Mm.
And I wanted to jump on what Miss Betty said. Hey Miss Betty, hey girl, hey. Love Miss Betty. When she brought up that Christine allowed her kids to feel what they wanted to feel, and I respect that because like Christine, she heard them out. She respect what they had to say. She was like, I'm just gonna be in a corner and kiss David slowly because y'all say I'm going too fast. But she allowed them to feel the way they wanted to feel. And what I don't get, like she even like McKelty, she even like gave McKelty, like I understand, like I told y'all to slow down, but McKelty has baby. You have to understand that your mom's grown. She has grandkids. Your
Right.
engagement and her engagement ain't the same.
Yeah.
She was trying to protect her child that's under 25. And like that's her, like, you know, I understand the kids trying to like protect their mom so she don't rush into anything. But Christine grown.
Right, right.
So like her engagement and McKelty's engagement ain't the same. But like cause in like I said, like she respects how the kids feel, but the thing I had with Robyn is she never allows people to feel the way they want to feel. she's still holding over these kids' head that they didn't want Solomon. Like they didn't jump for joy that her announcement that she was pregnant.
Mhm.
Like she don't let them feel the way they want to feel. It's 10 years plus years later. She's talking about they wasn't jumping for joy and they accept us.
Right.
So like
Right.
that's one thing like with Robyn. That's what drives me. Like you just have to let these people feel the way they want to feel. And
Right.
you can't be like, it's my way or the highway and get mad they choose the highway.
Right. Exactly. Well, because when you give somebody a choice, you can't be mad that they choose.
Because they want you to choose them and they
Right.
want you to like follow in their line. No, they chose the highway, all of them.
Right. Well, because I think too, like to a point that you made about Christine versus McKelty. Rubber meets the road, and we talk real. We talk real here. We keep it real.
Yes.
All the way is Stack. It doesn't really matter how long anybody was dating. The truth of the matter is that McKelty, you were looking for Christine to pay for your wedding. Christine isn't looking for you to pay for anything. So, so if she's paying for it, she gets a say.
She does have, yes, exactly.
Sorry, not sorry. That's just how.
But and the second thing I just wanted to say is that I couldn't be Janelle's friend because I'll be putting stuff in her ear.
Mm.
It's like I'll be telling her like Brianna, she got to be 18 by now, right?
Brianna.
She graduated high school, right?
Oh, Savannah.
No,
yeah.
not Savannah. I'm talking about Brianna, Robyn's third child.
Yeah, because they're the same age as they were in school together. Brianna and Savannah graduated together.
If I was
Okay, I got you.
Friend, I'll be like, you should ask for legal marriage. Because them last two, Cody, you want a birth certificate. If you really want to get back with me, divorce Robyn so we could be financially stable and marry me. If you really want to get back with me.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That'd be a hell of a put them in a quandary. Like, what are you gonna do, Holmes?
Exactly.
Because you said marriages don't mean nothing.
Them last two, you want a birth certificate. They ain't going nowhere. That's yours.
Right. There's no question of like adoption and none of that other foolishness that they pulled up. And so, if you want me back, let's get married. I want to get married
the last one, y'all was worried about y'all losing the kids. She grown now. Like you said, Cody, them kids grown.
Right.
So you want to legally marry me?
Right. Well, you know what would be interesting? That's an interesting thing because I would also be interested in seeing Robyn's response to it. Miss, exactly. I want this relationship to work out so much. All my life, I just want to sit on the porch with my sister wives, all that stuff. Here's your opportunity.
They bring that up. Robyn will be silent.
Make it happen. You know what I mean?
That's all I had.
No, that's awesome. That's a great question. That's a good point. I might scribble that down somewhere. You might hear that in the video.
I couldn't be Janelle friend because I'd be all in your ear. Like, hold up.
Yeah, we had a fair use that because that's a good point. Because I would like to see Robyn's face because the funny thing is, I will hold you one more second because I want to flesh this all the way out. The funny thing about that is that Robyn and her request that everybody works this out and they could get the marriages back together because she wants the whole family.
Exactly.
It's always somebody else doing work. She doesn't have to sacrifice anything and she doesn't have to do anything, but she wants somebody else to do it for her. With your suggestion, that's the first real suggestion I've heard, a real, comment that I've heard that puts it in a position where Robyn, you actually have to do something now.
Exactly.
You have to get divorced and you have to give up your status and your security. Are you willing to do it for your love of the Brown family?
No. Because you saw how silent she was when Mary was asking. She's like, I got my 2 and y'all have 4 and like Robyn on everything too because she married to you.
Right.
Like
right.
she not about that life.
Right. She know.
She not.
Yeah, she know. You're right. I'll disagree.
She's just trying to get hers and try to like stay face. That's all.
Right.
She's trying to protect, like she's trying to get that land for her kids so they can. She even said it, like she tried to make sure her kids is stable.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't defriend her friend Mary when she asked for a little bit more.
Yeah. She wasn't trying. She didn't speak up then. What happened to the lines of communication at that point? She was telling everybody to shut up. We need to stop talking about this. It's making me uncomfortable. But yeah, great points. Thank you so much for calling in. That's an excellent point.
Thank you, and I love your show because
Thank you.
you learn a lot from just being with this community.
Oh, awesome. That's why we built it up. That
So
we're all
gotta stay sane.
right. There you go. We here for each other.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna have to. I'm telling you, you guys might see that in this week's video. So be ready. Little foreshadowing. Oh, before we go, we got some super chats I want to make sure I get to. Brittany Not Brittany wrote one in. $1.99 super chat. She hates circles, but wants to twirl in one. Mood. Hey, it's easier to twirl in a circle than a square, if you know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. Besides, you go around that pole, it's a circle. It is what it is. Mary, about that life. Let me give Brittany a little something. A little something special. That's my dude. All right. And then we have Raspberry with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. In advance, in advocacy for Mary. Okay. I appreciate her sense of humor in the bleep storm that is marriage to Cody. We need laughter on the show, and Cody couldn't find a Rice Krispie turkey in a Keebler Elf factory. Well, you know what? I think that I'm kind of digging this version of Mary, to be honest with you. Like, I know Mary had kind of a rough. Thank you so much, Raspberry. Before I go into that, let me give you a little something. Hey, getting a slide on. Appreciate you. Just in close, like I think I didn't really talk about Mary earlier, so I'll talk about her a little bit now before we close out. I think that Mary is she's moving on with life, and I appreciate the fact of something that she said. She said that when they were sitting at the table, she said they didn't want me at their table, so I made my own. And I think that that's something that we could all take from this particular situation. I've been saying since Mary was involved with Cody, don't never let a man tell you more than once that he don't want you. Don't beg to hang out to a party. Like I tell my kids, don't beg, don't ask to go to a party that you're not invited to. Don't ask to eat meals that nobody has offered you anything for. If they're not offering you, they don't want you there, you don't ask to be there. Simple as that. Just makes life a lot easier. And if they don't want you around them, they don't want you in their circle, you create your own circle. You create your own group of friends. You create your own circumstances. You create your own life. You take ownership of your own life so that when you look back on the history of your life, you don't let anybody else write your history for you. You take the pen and you write your history for yourself. So you write your life story the way you want your life story to go. And if that means you have to start Xing out characters, you have to start getting rid of personnel and people who were involved with you, then that's what you have to do. And I appreciate the fact that Mary, regardless of how she was treated in the family, because I do think that Mary was probably rough with Christine and Janelle. I do think that Mary was doing some underhanded stuff. I do think that she might have made some of the situations uncomfortable, but I think that there is a reason for a lot of that behavior, and a lot of it is rooted in the unwavering, unyielding, incompliant way that polygamy works. And I think that because polygamy is such a difficult relationship to maintain and be a part of, it takes a toll. And I think it took a toll on Mary. And aside from that, I think that Mary is discovering, like Christine, like Janelle, I think Mary too is discovering who she is on this journey. And I think that we have to give her a little space and a little grace so that she can explore who she is and become the person that she's meant to be. Now, the weird thing about it is, especially when you look at Christine, Mary, and Janelle, because they were so young when they got involved into this relationship, they didn't really have a whole wealth of knowledge and a whole suitcase of wisdom that they entered into this relationship with. So they're doing the best that they can. They navigated through this time that they were married. Now that they're out the marriages, they're trying to find their way. And I think that, looking at this, Mary's doing the best she can to find her way. And it's hard to do, to be honest with you. Not that I don't ever want to equate really. I'm just not going to do that. I want to equate marriage to like being in jail. But when you're in these type of long-term situations, she's essentially starting over. And she's a middle-aged woman who dated a guy since she was 19, married a guy at 19. She's now in her middle age starting over. And even though she has a life experience with this one particular man in this one particular romantic situation, she doesn't have a whole wealth of knowledge when it comes to romantic situations, which is part of the reason why I was concerned about Christine, to be honest with you, and her relationships, because she too doesn't have a whole lot of information. She knows what she doesn't want. She doesn't want a Cody, but there are other different kinds of people out there. It's not just Cody. There's a whole variety of assholes out there. They got like 32 flavors of jackasses, so, if she was able to meet David and things worked out, the next love may be the best love. Who knows? He could be the one. He might be that guy. And, I hope he is. And I hope her relationship works out. But like the other two, Janelle and Mary, I can also appreciate them taking their time to heal from the relationship that they were in and trying to develop a life outside of the marriage and outside of their ties to Cody. So, I guess in closing, all I will say is I appreciate the fact that they're no longer defining their happiness using the basis of Cody and like everything being determinative of whether Cody's happy or where Cody is or what Cody's doing. They're finding their own happiness, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them to do it. And it's going to be, the sad part is, and this is the part that, the people like myself who are on the outside rooting for her they're single, their singledom and their independence and all that other stuff. The truth of the matter is that I'm not there on those lonely nights when they feel regret because they're by themselves. And at least, even though they were in a bad marriage, they had a partner and they were in a marriage. They were in a relationship. Now they're not in that relationship. They don't have a relationship. So it's easy to feel like you're lost in the storm and you feel like you've made mistakes by leaving that situation. But I will take this time to say I applaud the courage and I applaud you guys for leaving. And I'm happy that you left. And I'm happy that you're finding yourself. And I'm happy that you're discovering who you are. And I hope you continue to do that, because you finding you is you finding a treasure. You're the treasure that's been lost. You're discovering who you are and what you want out of life and what you need. And as you do that, you'll feel more fulfilled and you'll feel better than ever, even though you don't have the security of a relationship, even if it's a bad relationship. So that's my take. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I know we ran a little long. Oh, what time? It's crazy late. But I had a good time and I appreciated the phone calls. We had so many people that called in. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. I'm going to take off, guys, because I got to be out. I got to get up early. Thank you guys all so much for participating. That's my take. And I appreciate everybody. Before I say that, the whole spiel about that being my take, I appreciate you guys being super chill. Time and again, we have people who come in and comment on how awesome you guys are as far as like keeping the chat, cool and like being a good, strong community and supportive and all that. I'm not doing that. That's you guys. And I appreciate you guys for doing that. I also want to acknowledge Lizzie B, who's been holding us down in the moderator spot single-handedly, I might add. So if anybody wants to be a moderator, hit me up at MyTakeOnReality at MyTakeOnRealityQuestions at gmail.com. Because Lizzie might need some assistance because she does a spectacular job, and I want to give her a round of applause. But I appreciate you guys. Lizzie, thank you so much for holding it down for me once again. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. We got through another episode of this craziness, and I want to have some videos coming out. I have the show tomorrow night with Sarah from our Reality Squad. So I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. If you want to hang out tomorrow, we'll be on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going over some of the shows, and it will be a blast per usual. And make sure you check out the videos coming up this week. Don't forget the HBO special, Help a Brother Out special. Click that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Also hit that like button. Let's get them likes up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality. And I'm out.
Don't you think like that? I will love you and
That's the wrong one. Sorry about that. This is the real one. And I'm out.